DraftKings.
This is the Patriots Postgame Show, presented by DraftKings.
Intercepted Marcus Jones, takes him to the pylon. Touchdown! Patriots!
Look at it, it's nuts again! They're going nuts, and you gotta love it!
Join the conversation by calling into the show at 855-PATS-500 or email us at podcast@patriots.com.
Got to throw down the middle. Kelly intercepted.
There's another one!
Woodson has it.
Live from our studio inside Gillette Stadium, this is the Patriots Postgame Show, presented by DraftKings.
The New England Patriots are headed to the AFC Championship game for the first time since 2018. 28-16, the final score here at Gillette Stadium. Paul Perillo, Mike Dussault, I'm Kwani Lunis. Thanks for joining us after a win here in Foxborough. So it was an emotional roller coaster for me, at least.
I was for me too.
Sloppy game for sure, but it was a good one for in the end.
There were a lot of turnovers.
A lot of turnovers
in that game.
Too many. Too many turnovers.
So much for the wish that you and I had before the game. Like, let's just have two good teams go out and play some football.
Not what we predicted.
I mean, it's nuts. And I mean, I was saying to Paul, I mean, really, I think a big part of this game was simply that the Patriots recovered two of their fumbles, and one of their turnovers, the interception, went for six. That within the course of the game,
that was basically the difference of the game.
That was kind of, not to oversimplify it too much, but that was kind of it. So, just surprising that both sides were turning the ball over that much. I mean, especially in the playoffs, you come into these games saying, so what we can't do today is turn the ball over 4 or 5 times, and that's what both teams did.
Yeah, it was, there was sloppy periods of play on both sides. But ultimately, you allowed the Texans to sort of just continue to play sloppy football. Yeah. And again, for the second week in a row, hats off to Zach Core. I think that defense, again, looked, I don't think it was as good as last week, even though the turnovers are going to skew things. Yeah. But the numbers are going to look the same. I don't think it was the same. But again, he looked like he had the answers stopping the run. He had some pressure on Stroud early. He got him uncomfortable early in the game. So again, hats off to that defense, hats off to Core. And they needed it because that Texans defense was as advertised.
Yeah. I feel like a shift change. Earlier in the regular season, we watched the progress of Drake Maye, and, he didn't have the best game today either. But the defense, the last 2 weeks, ever since the postseason has hit, they have been able to step up in a way where, as we've talked about with this team, when one part of the game is lacking, someone else is able to step in. And this time, it was definitely the defense for this one. Yeah,
and situationally, I would just say, really picking the offense up at times. I mean, it's you talk about complementary football, and times when it felt like the offense, I mean, I think they had 6 3-and-outs in this game. I mean, they really struggled to move the ball. I ran out of space writing because it was just back. I mean, so many possessions back and forth. Yeah. But within the course of the game, the defense coming up with some key spots. I mean, I think of that second possession in the second half, that fumble that they got, where I really felt like the tide was kind of turning. They'd already come out and gotten that first field goal. You felt like, here they come. They're going to make a push right now to get that fumble in the second half. And then again, it's Houston. You're like, here we go. I mean, shoot, we didn't leave those in the first half. We're gonna keep on turning the ball over. That was the last one they made, but I think the damage was done by that point. And give the Patriots some credit down near the end with being able to run the ball a little bit. Joking with Evan, it's like they ran the same play like 7 different times. But Ramondre, good ball security. That was something I was thinking of that we talked about in the pregame show. Effort and finish, showing that finish there was valuable there. Bleed out some of that clock and really not give Houston any chance to mount a comeback.
Absolutely. All right, well, no further ado. Let's get into it. The good, the bad, and the injured.
Now it's time for the good.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
The bad.
Hey, what happened?
And the injured.
You all right, guy?
All right, the good, the bad, and the injured is brought to you by Aaron's. It's snowing right now, but as you know, in New England, it could snow any day now. So make sure that you're prepared for the next big snowstorm in the area. Make sure you're ready so you can clear that snow and get back to cheer on your New England Patriots. Aaron's is proud to be the official snowblower of the New England Patriots. Visit www.ariens.com to find your Aaron's. All right, top of the good list. Defense.
Who you got, Mike?
Yeah, I'm going to put Kayshon Boutte up
Boutte,
there.
yeah.
What a touchdown
Lights
catch.
out.
Totally impressive. I mean, came up with, a couple big catches there, or I guess a drawn PI and another big catch. So, when they kind of came to life there, they had just gone, they had a fumble and a 3-and-out to start the second half, desperately needed a drive there, and they put one together. Just really impressed with Booty and that catch specifically. It was just like the one last year. I don't know if we can pull up the catch from last year's
Side
Texan
by
game,
side.
but it's the same spot in the end zone. I mean, that one was a little bit cleaner. Drake dropped it right in the bucket, but just, not a lot going on in the passing game tonight. But I thought, Booty was the best. And coming up with that touchdown catch at that particular moment in the game, you're on the good list pretty much with just that. But not a hugely productive night, but he did enough. And here comes the catch. If you're watching on video, just absolutely crazy one-arm catch in the snow, right
and the
behind
way
Stingley.
he popped up with confidence and just looked, I was like,
Yeah,
icing on the cake.
and give Paulie, Paulie some credit. I
Yeah.
mean, that was his key, and that was what they had to
listened
do
to you,
to
Paul.
close the game out. Because let's face it, I mean, really, they didn't have much going on offense
I
tonight.
mean,
Paul called it.
I do appreciate that, and I'd love to sit here and say, yeah,
I knew,
the other team couldn't hold the ball. That's why you won. Like, it wasn't because Keyshawn Booty got over the top, which is what I thought they would have some opportunities to do, and that was the play that ultimately ended the game. But my goods are basically all on defense. I mentioned Zach Core like we did last week when we talked about the Chargers. I just thought the plan, again, there was some aggressiveness up front. The physicality, I'll start, I guess, with the run defense because I felt like it would be a real bad situation if you had to make C.J. Stroud the focal point of everything the Texans wanted to do on offense. And Woody Marks had 14 carries for 17 yards in this game. As a team, 22 for 48, 2.2 yards per carry. So those guys up front, filtering in, I thought Christian Ellis was aggressively filling gaps. Jelani Tavai showed up a little bit, filling gaps. Spillane is always around the ball. Milton Williams, Christian Barmore, I think, was as active as I've seen him. So that front seven, that's my first on the good list today. Just a dominant performance against the run. Completely took any semblance of a running game away from C.J. Stroud, and you saw what happened when he didn't have anything to fall back on.
Yeah, I'd throw Anthony Jennings into that mix too. Had some,
Good ad.
maybe he could get in.
Good
get in on
ad
his
right
own,
there.
But,
Good ad, Mike.
But just team defense, and I mean, really, as the game really kind of declared itself, that's what we say sometimes. It just was apparent they're not going to be able to run the ball. And then Dalton Schultz went out, who was somebody I highlighted in the pregame show as this is their leading receiver without Nico Collins. They're really going to have to lean on this guy, and now he goes out. So, I mean, the Texans were fighting an uphill battle, and it seemed like it got harder with each possession, whether they threw an interception or somebody went out.
And I agree, Mike, and I would love to sit here and like be, empathetic to the other side and say, well, Stroud, like, what do you expect? I don't care. Like, I don't care is a strong word. I know he missed those guys. But the guys that he had on the field were open, and he just couldn't throw the ball to them.
Or they're going right through their hands. I mean, how many went over through guys'
They had a
hands,
couple
too,
drops, too. Yeah, you're right. But Fred's looking for
Forgot my
donuts.
donut. I got to get my donut.
I love it. And by the way,
stuff.
Keyshawn Booty will be joining us, so make sure you stick around later in the show so we can have a little conversation with him.
Some of these throws are just like, so far off target. I mean, there's just guys open. There are plays to be made, and he just couldn't make them.
Yeah.
And I know he missed Nico Collins.
Yes.
I know he did, and I know he missed Schultz. I mean, Schultz had 2 for 47 when he was in the game. He only played a series and a half.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm not diminishing the personnel losses for Houston, but
It just didn't look good.
No, it didn't. And I mean, and how many interceptions could they have had? I mean, we're seeing some highlights here that,
to your point,
deflections
almost all of
that
these
hit the
balls hit
ball.
his receivers in the hands and end up getting picked. So yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Top of my list, Carlton Davis III. Obviously, we talked about the defense overall, but he was just felt like he was in the right spots at the right time. There was one catch, I don't know if you guys saw the replay. He found a way to get his mouth guard back in his mouth and still secure the ball and then go down, take a knee, and get a secure catch. But I just was really impressed with him throughout this game, finding the right spots to be active.
I would call this game the full Carlton Davis experience.
It really was. He went out, he went in.
He's actually on all 3 of my lists. He's on all 3 of my lists.
He went out.
2 interceptions and
2 tremendous interceptions. One of them was
only
like
threw it right to him.
next level.
But then 2
This
20-yard
that's
passes.
that's a next level pick right there. That one. I mean, this is
That
a
was
tremendous
phenomenal.
play.
Yeah.
And he just gets that knee down.
Yep, that's when he adjusted his mouth guard.
I think.
But yeah.
But Kwani mentioned some of the pass defenses too, like getting his hands on the ball. And
Two
then
20-yard
and then
pass
still found a way to
we'll get to the next.
Yeah.
I do think he's on all three
He
lists.
is on all three lists for a good reason.
Good for Carl.
Fred has joined us, though. He doesn't have a donut, but I would love to hear if you want to add anything to the good
Fred,
list.
what do you
For the
got?
good list.
Yeah.
We're just
really
starting.
early.
Pretty
You
much
came in
anything
early.
you do.
Yeah,
we
I
put-
mean,
You missed us.
yeah, I mean, the obvious Booty.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right at the
that was
top.
an amazing catch.
Yeah.
He's going to be coming up here in a second,
Yes.
Fred.
Yeah.
So he can.
You
can ask
mentioned
him about
Davis. I think Gonzo had a decent game.
Yeah, big strip.
yeah.
When it looked like Houston was sort of
Yeah.
trying to wrestle the momentum, they were going in for a go-ahead score. They were down. I think it was 21-16 at the time when he fumbled.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a big play.
I don't know. You mentioned that's the front line of the D just stifling the run.
Yeah, I mean, well under 3. I mean, it was like barely 2 yards a
Yeah.
carry they allowed for the game.
I mean, that's what you knew when they couldn't run the ball. It was like they don't have their receiving threats unless C.J. Stroud starts playing out of his mind and hitting all these guys with passes. Like you knew it was going to be a real struggle for them if the Patriots could just get some points, and that's again highlighting how important that Marcus Jones pick 6 was to create some of that
I
separation.
think Chisholm, nice block on a return. I saw.
There you go. I wanted to highlight. I mean, Craig Whitson too got an interception and a fumble recovery. I mean, you know, a lot of these guys just I feel like it's the whole team defense,
Everyone,
and you know, it's not even just the individual efforts. It's just
big physical
the sum
play
of the
stuff in a
farm.
run early in the game too. You know, the pick was one of those deflections that landed on him, and he recovers the fumble. But I thought he was active around the ball early on, especially in the first half.
Yeah.
And he left the game for a short period of time too. Was able to get back in there. But yeah, I had Woodson on my list too. You know, way back. One guy I wanted to mention specifically. I thought Chason may have played played his best game as a Patriot. I thought he had a lot of immediate pressure in this game today. He was single-handedly responsible for probably the most important pick, the pick 6, by Marcus Jones. You know, any more than say Stroud could be.
I would put Stroud on our good list.
I was thinking the same thing.
I'll tell you who else will
I
put
think he
Stroud on a
purposely
good list,
found
Fred,
David.
is Drake Maye.
Yeah.
Drake Maye probably sending a bouquet to Stroud.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I thought Chason was really, really good in this game.
Yeah, me too.
Very active off the edge, and he was a constant thorn in Stroud's side.
Yep.
I don't know what the
Anything
numbers.
else
What do we have for numbers there?
Did you put Marcus Jones on the good list?
We
I
had not yet.
I didn't.
D?
I
For
didn't.
Some D. Yeah. I mean, I know he
was-
gave up the first. He was
a
on
little
the
up
first
and, he was a
touchdown,
little up and down too.
but
Yeah.
he made up for it in a couple other plays.
He did. I mean, the pick 6, of course, but I had him on coverage on the Kirk touchdown on early. He was on that one. I mean, he had another great pass breakup on kind of the speed out down there to get off the field. So he had a couple good plays.
He had a huge pass defense on a 3rd and 2 in the third quarter too. That was a big play at the time. Yeah, I mean, he love him with the ball in his hands though, and he gets the pick 6. You know, and again, you know, it's not hyperbole to say like the difference in the game is the Patriots cashed their turnover into a touchdown. The Texans had a chance to do the same thing and bobbled the ball inside the 10, and Will Campbell ends up recovering it at like the 3-yard line.
Yeah.
That could have easily been a touchdown, and it's the whole game unfolds all different.
Yeah, I know. I want to just mention those 2 Will Campbell recoveries because
Yes,
I don't think, I think he struggled in the
100%.
actual part of his job today, which was trying to handle those edge rushers. But being able to recover those 2 fumbles, I mean,
he
it was
saved Drake as
it was
well in
key.
that
I mean, I
sense.
don't want to
Yeah.
say he's on the good list because of
Yeah,
that,
I
but
agree.
like,
Yeah, he's
had he
not
not
on the good
recovered,
list.
had he not recovered that one inside their 5-yard line, this game might be totally different.
No,
So it's one of those
100%.
weird things where it's an individual
You got to give him
play,
flowers
but
for that, I guess. Yeah.
At least I
So
got to
I'm
give him
basically to
acknowledgement.
like individual play situations
Yep.
now.
Yeah.
And I would say, way back when it all started, Demario Douglas
Yep.
on the 4th and
Off the
1, that's defended really tightly. The linebacker died. I think it was the safety, Bullock, right? That dove, gets a piece of it, and great concentration by Douglas. He ends up holding on to it, and then there's nobody there once you dive. If you don't get the pass breakup, the tackle's not going to get made. So that, I mean, they didn't ask Douglas to do a whole lot, right? Is that the only time two catches for 36 yards with a 28-yard touchdown. But that's a big play in the game. You get no points there, which I kind of thought that was a curious decision to go for it. I thought it was pretty apparent early in the game. Points weren't going to be easy. They went for
But
it.
I will say
They paid off. It paid off because they got a big play out of it.
the Texans' defense is legit. I mean, like you said, everything was contested.
Oh, yeah.
Everything.
Like,
Even that one we just saw with Pop, he had fingers on it.
Yeah,
Right,
the booty
yeah.
touchdown. He's got to
touchdown
like
was the most
one hand.
contested. That's why I was shocked he got it.
The Diggs touchdown, he was draped.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
And, you know, everything
did
that they got
what they could.
was really hard and like almost didn't work. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It was like,
Well, I mean, that one, watching in the press box, that one to Pop, I was like,
and especially when you look at just like how hard all those plays were to come by, and then like the situations that the Texans defense, like just mentally, I don't know how, like, you know how you always hear about NFL teams,
Right.
Like sometimes they get the split between offense and defense, and listen, the Patriots defense made the Texans offense look worse than it is. That's not that bad of an offense that they were today.
But I will say that this game, to me, underlined what people were saying early in this season. The AFC is wide open because every team is flawed. Every team is flawed. As good as the Texans' defense was, their offense couldn't help them out.
Right. And I'm just saying, like, that to me made their defensive performance today even more impressive because they didn't have hope.
Yeah.
They didn't have hope all day.
Yeah, you're right.
Because their quarterback was playing poorly from the first possession of the game. He missed a guy wide open in the flat that would have been an easy first down. And then 2 plays later, Christian Kirk drops an easy first down. Like, you just could tell if you were a member of the Texans defense today, you're not going to be able to do this unless you do it by yourself. And they almost did. They almost did. They had the team in the game basically by themselves. It was an amazing kind of game because the only time the momentum went back and forth, but it always went back and forth based on the defense being on the field.
Right.
Like the Patriots would be in trouble, and then Marcus Jones gets a pick 6. Now the Texans are in trouble. They go 3-0. Their defense comes back on the field, and they get a strip sack. Now they have the momentum again.
Right.
It was just one of those games.
Yep.
I think that's it for me, Mike. I don't know if you have anything else.
I think you covered all of mine.
it all.
I mean, anything you wanted to add
I'm gonna say one more
defensively,
thing.
I would say
I'm gonna say
yes.
just one more thing. The run game was not productive, but Ramondre at the end, some first downs.
Yeah.
I thought that was
Ramondre's a true pro.
one of those. Yeah, he is. I mean, poked
they
in the
didn't-
eye.
They can't.
Came back.
I didn't expect them to be able to run the ball against Houston, and they didn't. They got all the, like you said, you know, again, no hope left for Houston, and that's when he ground out a couple of first downs, but not for a lack. No, it wasn't on Stevenson. Man, he ran hard.
Oh yeah.
He ran hard. He protected the ball. Good heads-up play there, staying in bounds.
Holding on to the ball.
You know, just another just rock-solid performance by Ramondre, and overcame what I assume he got poked in the eye or something because
something like that,
came back from an eye injury, missed a little time. But, yeah, he ran tough, 4.4 yards to carry against that defense, nothing to
Found
sneeze
the
at.
holes that he could, which was impressive with that defense. So, yeah.
Yep.
I guess we're going to the bad list. It feels weird going to the bad list after a win, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. You're on to the
You
AFC
still have to
Championship.
be right.
But
How do you get better?
Let's face it, you know, May did not have a good game.
Yeah, he was at the top of mine, unfortunately.
I mean, what were his final numbers?
Yeah,
I
the
know
numbers. The numbers are going to say 16 for 27, 179, and 3 touchdowns. You know, a meaningless pick. That wasn't really a pick, but you're right. There was again. I'm really concerned now about the pocket presence and his ability to feel the pressure and avoid putting the ball on the ground. He led the NFL in fumbles this year, which is a stat that I didn't know. 13 fumbles he had, and that was the most in football this year. 3 more today. And as Mike mentioned earlier, fortunate that one of those didn't end up in a touchdown because 2 Texans had their hands on the ball.
So did the 13
inside
fumbles
the 10.
include ones that were recovered by the Patriots?
Yeah. Most of them were recovered by the Patriots.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, and
They were mostly recovered by the Patriots today. He only lost one of them.
another great defense next week. He's going to have to face in the Broncos in an opposing team's environment, which we've seen that can hurt too with the crowd noise. And then, you know, if they were fortunate to get by that, there's going to be a defense like Seattle's waiting for them. So I would say maybe 2 games left, maybe just 1, but he's no question. He's got to refine some of that magic. It's been a real grind. I give the team overall credit for hanging in there and continuing to fight when you're kind of hanging by a thread and making enough plays. But
absolutely. All right, we're going to get Spillane, by the way, change of plans. Spillane is here joining us now.
All right.
Congratulations.
Robert.
He's a little frozen.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Thumbs up, Robert. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Broken thumbs up.
But Spillane, we were talking earlier in the show, just this defense has had a shift really in the last 2 weeks. What do you attribute that to?
Is it you coming back?
It's you. It's definitely you.
No, I think we've really just stuck to the process this whole year, just looking for ways to get better each and every week. And I'm just so proud of how our guys continue to grow, continue to want to get better, and continue to come in here every day to prepare to win.
That was such a wild game. You know, every time momentum seemed to shift to one side or the other, there was another turnover, a wild play. What was the talk like on the sideline while all this was happening?
Next is the play that matters most. You can never go backwards. You can never play a play in the future. What is the situation in front of us, and how can we be effective in this situation?
Robert, I just got to ask you, what was it like for you? I know you missed some time, but not being able to be out there and then to come back last week against the Chargers and to lead this defense. How much energy and how much excitement did you have being able to come back and just step right into a playoff game?
Hey, I love doing what I'm doing. I love playing football. I love being part of the Patriots. I'm going to continue to pour my heart into this team, just like 53 other men in this room do, including the coaches, including the front office. And let the chips fall where they fall, but we're just going to continue to work.
Robert, it seems down the stretch defensively, you guys have really turned up the pressure, gotten a little bit more aggressive. I don't have numbers. I'm not a film junkie, so I don't break it down like a lot of my colleagues do. But it just seems like you guys have gotten a little bit more aggressive with the play calling with Zach. Have you sensed that?
There's some of that, but there's also some of our D-line just really getting home with the four-man rush. When you can affect a quarterback with the four-man rush, put 7 in coverage, it feels like the pocket's collapsing, but yet we're still able to cover the eligibles with 2 extra people in coverage. So I'm just so proud of how our defense has really started to come together, and it feels like we're continuing to grow this late in the season, which I've never been a part of.
Robert, you guys are going to play in the AFC Championship next week in Denver. What are your thoughts on that matchup and the opportunity you guys have?
Like you said, it's an opportunity. Only a few men in this whole locker room have had this opportunity. At the end of the day, we prepare our whole lives for moments like this, and I'm just excited to get the game planning.
And before I let you go, Robert, I know you want to go celebrate with all your teammates, but I wanted to ask you the very last play defensively. Is that about as far downfield as you've ever been in coverage in your NFL career?
Wherever the coaches put me, I trust that they're doing what's best for the team, and it was an opportunity for me to show plays and coverage down the field, and I'm glad I was able to make that play for our team.
Well, congratulations again. Go enjoy the win. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Have a great
Robert.
night.
Thanks, Robert.
Right.
Congratulations.
Wow.
Intensity in 10 cities.
Yeah, I can't have fun.
Right.
Well, I mean, he's an interesting guy,
He may
too.
have broken something there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
When you're like thumbs up, and he said, "Yeah, broken thumbs up." He left the game with a thumb injury. We haven't gotten to the
I
injured
believe
list
it.
yet.
Right, and there's
Breaking
there's
news
that
here.
hand right in the middle of the last pass breakup that he had.
Stroud finished the game the same way he started it, by badly missing a wide open target.
I mean, he started it just that way, Paul, and that's
First
kind of what
play
I
of the
felt
game,
like the
he
first
missed.
play.
Yep.
And I never like to get carried away with that stuff, but it's like when you see that,
I was
and then
getting,
you
I
see
was
like
getting
the run,
chirped
it's
big
like,
time because I had the. Listen, I was wrong. I thought, like I said, I think Stroud's pretty good. He was not pretty good.
No, yeah.
pretty good.
You give him the benefit of the doubt, as you should.
I've seen him play a lot better than
Yeah.
he's played in these 2 playoff games. I didn't think he would have another stinker like he did against Pittsburgh, and he was worse tonight than he was against Pittsburgh.
Am I misremembering the playoff years? Because I feel like it was last year watching him, and he didn't have Tank Dell, and I think his guys were binged up, and he
played
was
really well.
just a warrior out there, and
He
know,
did.
keeping his team in there. But just
Yeah,
it
I was
started tough and
hearing
got
it from the
tougher for
crowd,
him.
as they like to say. Like, what do you think of your boy now? Oh,
it was weird how,
he was off.
not.
You know what his numbers were, Fred? 20 for 47.
Wow.
212.
Felt
One
like it.
touchdown, 4 picks.
Oh, my
Could have been
goodness.
8 picks.
Oh, my God. That might be the worst quarterback performance the Patriots have ever had by an opponent in the playoffs.
In the
Tim Tebow
playoffs?
would like a word.
Were the numbers as bad for him?
Probably not, because he didn't throw the ball 47 times because
Right.
they wouldn't let him.
Yeah.
But it would have been if he'd thrown 47
Sure.
passes.
But that was,
But yeah, that was a bad performance today,
Yeah.
no question.
yeah.
Who else is on your list?
So yeah, the ball security for Drake.
Yeah.
First and foremost, I don't think he threw the ball poorly today. I think that's a really good. I think that's a really good defense. I think they got their hands on a lot of passes. I think they deflected and affected a lot of the passes today. But
Yep.
you can't fumble 3 times.
Yeah.
You can't. You have to have some pocket presence. He didn't really show much today.
What do you think's going on with him? I mean,
Yeah,
this
there's
is 2 weeks
something-
in a
this is a
row.
different
Do you
player
think this is
for
just
sure.
the
I mean,
lack
it's
of
13
personnel around
fumbles.
him? Or, I mean, it's not like
I think it's you're
one-off.
playing better teams in the playoffs. I know people don't want to hear that. People don't want to hear that you're playing teams that are better than the
No,
ones
it's
that you played
true.
in the regular
But
season.
I thought his composure would have stayed the same. I feel like
I just don't think he's
something's
reacting
changed.
fast enough. I think this,
He's
like
slow.
you said, what it could, just because you're playing better teams, it's speeding up, and he
When they talk
hasn't.
playoff football,
He
yeah, I see what
hasn't
you mean.
sped up. I thought he just looked early on too comfortable back there. Just not.
Yeah.
You got to be fast.
Right.
You got to make a decision and go. You
Urgency.
can't. Yeah, you got to have urgency back there.
I agree, and
Yeah.
especially once you sort of establish the way the game is going, and you understand I don't have that much time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to get an inner clock and say, okay, I can't double clutch this
Right.
one. The first one I think was the one that he was sort of under a lot of pressure on the side, and he was like kind of getting pushed back. He was going to force a
And it just
bad
snapped.
ball,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then someone knocked it out from behind. I think that's the one that the Texans had. That one. That's the one
Yeah.
right there. Now look, there's one guy who could have picked it up. Here's another guy who could have picked it up, and Will Campbell's the one who
saved up.
gets it. I think Mike nailed it at the top of the show. Like, it's not hyperbole to suggest the difference in the game is they turned their turnover into a touchdown, and the Texans had opportunities to do the same thing, and they didn't.
Nope.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, Will Anderson, he is a game wrecker.
Yeah.
He,
Both of those guys were monsters.
he's the real
Right.
deal.
I mean, how often do you spend like time talking about a certain thing for the game, and you're like, it didn't really come to fruition, and then
then
not tonight. Everything you read
So
about
they,
this
they
Texas
combined for
defense.
5 sacks and 3 strip sacks,
Yeah.
the two of those guys. So that lived up to the pregame.
Sure. Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
you might as well say, Campbell just wasn't good enough out there on the edge against these guys. And I know
No.
it's a huge challenge, and you acknowledge that. But at the same time, when it's directly leading to turnovers that can result in points, again, at least he was able to jump on the fumble
Right.
spread after a lot of
But
hit.
still, it shouldn't
So-
have happened.
What do you think about the game plan on offense? Do you think that there wasn't enough adjustment there?
I don't think they gave him any help, or
Yeah.
enough. I shouldn't say
Right.
any help. I don't think they gave him enough help,
Yeah.
especially on third downs.
I mean, I
Well,
was
it's-
calling for, like, you got to get Drake out of the pot. It doesn't
Yeah.
exist anyway, but just
No.
get him on the move.
Yeah.
They started doing it late in the second half. And he
even
hit,
he-
Hooper.
Yeah.
But it's the first time I think
Right.
they had him
But I
rolling
thought that
out.
they had
Yeah.
a good, they had a variety of screens early that
Yeah.
you would think that would be,
Couldn't
good.
really-
They couldn't
yeah.
get going. They wanted to run the ball early. I think they were just setting up a lot of 2nd and 10s because they couldn't run the ball. But on 3rd and long, in one of the strip sacks in particular, they motioned Ramondre out of the backfield out wide, and I was like, that's odd to me on a 3rd and long.
Because you want him in for protection.
You could use an extra guy in there, and sure enough, he got strip sacked on that play. I think there was the one early in the second half.
Yeah.
So I was a little surprised they didn't give more help to Campbell and Moses on those guys. But I thought the play calling, for the most part, was good. It just didn't work. Houston was just better defensively. I mean, look, the numbers speak for themselves. I mean, I don't have their season log in front of me, but I got to think 248 yards is a season low.
What I
Total
think,
yards,
yeah, I mean,
right?
what's worth exploring is it seemed like they were giving him a lot of protection on the edges, and then all of a sudden, in the second half, it kind of dried up. And,
3
and
for 14 on 3rd down.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And that was, I think, how many of the fumbles came on 3rd down? I mean, I want to say at least 2 or 3 of them.
I mean,
but-
it's a damn good thing that May came out of this game
A
unscathed.
lot, yeah. I mean, even
No.
those the hits to his hand. I was
Yeah,
worried about
that's
those.
an easy way to get hurt.
He
Yeah.
looked hesitant when he did scramble for some first downs.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't even know if I want you to do this because you're going to
Yeah,
get injured. There's a lot of hesitancy.
There's a lot of tape that I want him to watch, and
I think he only had 2 runs.
Yeah.
in the
Yeah,
game.
well, that's another
2
thing we
scrambles.
talked about
which
that
was
didn't.
weird too.
But
Scrambles
again,
and
I
that.
give Houston credit because there weren't times that I looked
Yeah,
and I
this
said,
was the
just
one
run,
where
just run.
He
I didn't.
hesitated
this was the one
before
here.
he finally did run for it.
Squeak out a first down.
I didn't
but-
see a lot of opportunities where I said, just go, just run. Like this
I think
is
he
like
finally realized like they're
that's
gonna
just
get
kind of
me.
running for your life
Yeah.
there. Like,
Quite literally.
Yeah.
and that was one. Give him credit on that one. He had good ball security there. He put 2 hands on the ball when they try to rake down and knock it loose. But for the most part, I was just very impressed with Houston's defense, and I was even more impressed with the Patriots' defense. They played swarming to the ball, stuffing the run, and they caused the turnovers that were ultimately the difference in the game.
Yep. Great energy.
Yeah.
That's
All right.
That's all I got
That's all.
for bad.
The injured.
I would say there was again singular kind of thing. 36-yard punt in the second
Yeah,
quarter
good one.
from
Yeah.
Bryce Baringer. And again, in a game, that field position matters.
Yep.
Now, he didn't know at the time that C.J. Stroud was that was going to be the beginning of him just throwing the ball to the other team.
Yeah.
And I believe his pick six was shortly thereafter. But you know what? 36-yard punts. You know, that's not good.
Contrast that with the Houston guy that dropped the friggin' what was that one?
Oh,
A 72-yarder.
He had a couple bombs. Yeah.
You know, but
One that rolled right down to the 4 or whatever it was.
Yep. All right. So injuries. We had Robert Spillane with a thumb. He came back.
Which may or may not be broken based on our interview.
32 went out, but he came back. I don't know if that was a shoulder. Or
I think it was a
something.
right shoulder they were working on, but he returned, but was not effective.
31 had a head.
Yeah.
But he also returned.
But he returned. So again, we got a better neurologist.
And then 38, Stevenson got poked in the eye. We saw him blinking it out, but he would return.
Yeah, that
as
ball you
well.
could see it was like he was having a hard time
He's gonna
seeing.
wear a shield
I think.
probably next week, Paul. And then 7, Davis. This is actually, I think, probably maybe the only time he has not returned from an injury. Like he pretty much every
He
game
did
gets
not
it.
return.
Oh, we didn't actually get to Davis on the bad list. So.
Oh, yeah, we have to get all three phases of the game.
Three penalties for Davis, two big PIs on. I think they were both on third downs, and then he had a face mask penalty also. So, he made 2 great plays. I thought, I will take the game that he played today. We had a call in the pregame that was a little worried about Davis's PIs, and our feeling was kind of
brushed it off.
The feeling he's going to get them.
Yeah.
Like he gets them. He's a very physical corner. He's going to get penalties. He gets penalized pretty much every game. I will take the plays that he made today in exchange for the PIs. He's got his hand on a handful of passes today, and the interceptions were enormous. That he made. So I'll take that overall. But yeah, he gets a little mention everywhere.
Yeah. Is that the first time a player
four passes defense today for him?
Yeah.
So that's 2 more pass breakups in addition to the 2 interceptions. So that's a good game. That's a good game.
Face mask.
Yeah.
I saw that one live.
The only other injury was Anthony Jennings, and
I think he landed on.
I think he went back in the game, right? But he looked like he got banged up too.
Yeah, he kind of limped off.
So it was. It's amazing that we're talking about the AFC Championship game, and I think they'll be a heavy favorite in the game. Going against an overmatched backup quarterback.
You think a heavy favorite?
I think they should be. I think Houston would have been too.
I think the Patriots will be 5-point favorites. Do you consider that heavy?
Yeah,
they're 4.5 favorites right now, so you're on to something.
Is it 4.5 now?
4.5.
I'm hearing in my ear.
On the road, I think that's a significant favorite.
I know. I'm just, I think it is significant.
Yeah, it is. By the way, when we walked in this morning, this afternoon, Mike, you asked me, why am I wearing all black? And I told you, it was because I was celebrating the Houston Texans funeral.
Sure you were.
For their season ending.
There you go.
But I say this because I do want to go to a graphic that I told them I didn't want to play before in the pregame.
Okay.
Because we have some haters from the national. Yes. This screenshot is so disrespectful. But yes. So I don't know if you guys saw this clip live. Yeah.
No, and Mina Kimes then retweeted this and was like, "Congratulations to the Patriots
for winning the AFC."
Because they all thought that they were like individually going for the upset.
In the video, someone was like, "Why didn't I thought someone was going to pick the Patriots?" And man, but it's very telling that everyone did pick Houston, and then
now Mina was funny about it, and I listened to her talk about her pick, and she was torn. And I think everybody just erred on the side of the defense.
I can tell you, it broke Evan's heart.
Really?
It did. His girl picking against the Patriots.
Traitor. But we talked in pregame, like, what does Vrabel use to motivate the team on a weekly basis? And I hope this was hanging up somewhere in the locker room.
Sure, why not?
Exactly. Whatever works.
They weren't the only ones. I think.
No, I know. There are others.
The NFL Get the hell up. That show in the morning. What's it called? Wake up.
Get your ass up.
Get up. I forget.
Good
morning football.
I think they all picked against the Patriots too, or at least a lot of them did.
Yeah. They can all suck it now.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Oh wow.
That's right. And now,
so not to beat a dead horse, but did the Patriots beat a good team today?
I
The best
personally think they
defense
did.
they've seen.
Patriots fans don't, but I do.
Oh, you don't think they do?
No. Patriots fans are mad that they gave up 16. They didn't think they would score 10.
Okay.
But
No,
yes, Fred, in all seriousness, no snark aside, yes, you beat a good team today.
They did, and I think the Patriots are a good team. And as much as you want to rank their opponents, like this was a kind of game where it's not all going your way, and you have to weather the storm a little bit. And they had their moments where a lot of teams could pack it in, but just overall good team win. They got contributions from mostly everybody, and who knows what next week's gonna look like. It might be the same kind of thing where you just have to trade punches and make plays at the end.
And I think to add to that point, the fact that they beat a good team while also not looking the best that we know that they're capable of says a lot, especially as they look ahead to the AFC Championship. Yeah. Obviously, you have to regroup and figure out the best way to do so. But again, we know what Drake Maye is capable of. We've seen this defense really step up the last 2 weeks. So if we get that ideal combination, I have no doubt about next week. If that's
you
the
have
case.
no doubt.
If that's
no
the case,
doubt.
though. If that's the case.
You don't have any doubt.
You don't have doubt?
Jared Stidham
come on now.
Yeah, see, Paul,
I know
you
it's the
should know
butt of
better.
the Twitter jokes, but come
You should
on.
know better.
I do know better.
You've been watching this league a
He's seen more
long
balls.
time,
Yeah.
and teams rise up. Teams rise up.
See.
Stud 'em.
So we always say like, oh, if Stroud plays like that, they have no chance, but we don't think he will. If May plays, like this, if May plays like this,
They might have no chance.
Broncos have more than a good chance to winning that game. I don't care who's their quarterback.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Jared Stidham, last time we saw him, I mean, he wasn't a starting quarterback in the NFL, but he has skills. It's not like he can't complete a pass. He can't hand the ball off.
To be honest with you, I don't know that because he hasn't played.
We haven't seen him
This is the
play.
first time in NFL history a guy is going to attempt his first pass of the season in the
Right.
conference championship game.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he will have a chip on his shoulder and play
I'm
lights
just
out,
saying,
but
like,
we don't know what to
The
expect.
Patriots are going to have to play well to win.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to. I don't think they're going to be able to play like this on offense and win that game.
No.
I think they will.
He needs to step up. But
I think they could be able to play like that they did today on offense and win. I don't
Okay.
think today was really
as
in
long as
doubt.
the defense
And they played the way they
holds
did
their
on
part.
offense.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean,
I think the defense is rising.
Yeah, they're getting
The
better.
defense can't play any better than this. I mean, that's back-to-back weeks they were dominant.
yeah.
Yeah.
For damn close to 60 full minutes, both games.
Do you think that all the talk about the Texans defense motivated the Patriots defense?
Probably.
I hope so, yeah. I could see
Probably. Now, I mean, I'd make an argument they didn't play as well as Houston's defense did.
that. Yeah.
What? But that doesn't matter.
But yeah, I think they probably got some motivation for that. Mike talked about it in the pregame.
Yeah. Whatever works for the
When
psyche.
Vrabel did the,
Oh, yeah. The
what about their defense? But
sick of it.
everybody tries to find the right buttons to push. I was just gonna say on the Broncos, like to Paul's point, like Knicks's playmaking, and he's very streaky,
They're not that good,
but
to
it's
begin
so
with.
part of them, and when he makes plays down the stretch.
See, I disagree, Paul. I think they are a good team. Now
didn't say
they're not
that-
as
wait,
good
whoa, whoa,
without
whoa.
Knicks.
I didn't say they're not a good team.
You just
I
said they're not that good to begin with.
They're not that good to overcome the loss of their starting quarterback. Yes.
Okay, well then now you're putting context
But that's
to
what
it.
I said. They're not that good. That's
Okay.
exactly what I said. I didn't say they're not good.
Yeah.
They're 14-3.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
If the Patriots win, they'll have beaten another good team.
Absolutely.
Well, we'll see what it looks like.
So I know
Today was a good. That's a good team you played today. That defense was legit.
and as good as Denver's defense is, I don't think
It's not
they're as
anywhere
good
near
as
that
this team.
caliber.
Let's hope not.
I don't care what the
Right.
numbers are. That's not
But-
anything. I've seen Denver play several times. They've never looked like that to
No.
me on defense.
But you flop it to Denver now, and it's in their home stadium.
Right,
It's a little
it's-
bit
yeah,
of
yeah,
right there playing
yeah,
at
they were
Denver.
in
Is
their
that
home.
where it's
They
gonna
were
be?
in their home
Exactly.
stadium yesterday.
52-80.
Yes. So
The
I
other
wanted
team
to
turned
bring
the
that
ball
up,
over 5
actually.
times and still scored 30 points.
So I love bringing up weather and elevation I brought up last week. So Gronk and Edelman, they have their podcast, Dudes on Dudes, and they were talking about this potential matchup. And it was very interesting, though, because Gronk said that he actually felt the effects every time they played in Denver. But Julian Edelman said the opposite. He was like, actually, I felt nothing. And there was, like, I think that was the first time they had talked about it, because Jules was actually genuinely shocked that Gronk felt the difference. So I'm curious as to how you prepare for that part of the game, too, just knowing
Yeah.
you're having less oxygen.
On our show during the week, we have experts. No matter what the subject is, we have experts that call in, and
Yeah, of course.
and they tell us that you can't adjust
To
in
the-
a couple days.
Yeah.
No matter what you do, you can't
They
adjust.
should have started doing that last week.
He said, so like people say, they should go out early and
Go in a chamber.
And this person was saying it doesn't matter. Just go out the day before because you're not going to adjust. And he said it's actually better to just go and just do it than try to go like a couple days early.
It.
Yeah, it's
Barrack chamber.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just saw Woody Marks had
Don't be
14
sorry.
attempts for 17 yards and 8 stuffed runs. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
That's dominant
Yeah.
defense. That's the front seven. That was my number one on the good list, and I think that immediately said this is going to be all on Stroud's shoulders.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think
He
that's a
didn't have right.
formula that Houston didn't want any part of.
Yeah, I mean, I really saw guys like, I know they're not playing zero technique and all that anymore, where you're playing 2 gaps, but guys that were taking on their blocks and just being aware where the run was coming and getting off their blocks and filling it that gap. I saw a lot of that. It was just some really great
Look at it.
team
They're all
defense.
in there.
Yeah,
Very, very stout.
Really, really
The
good
other
stuff.
thing too is they don't get pushed back. Like
Yeah.
when they get a guy,
Yeah.
like it's not the pile goes backwards. It doesn't.
I'll tell you another huge play in the game was that illegal shift that negated a touchdown early in the game when the Texans had a chance to tie the game. They walked in on that play easily.
Yeah,
Yep.
Barmore had a nice sack.
'cause they
Just
shifted
bull rushed
illegally
his
before.
guy.
Well, no one moved. It was just one of those illegal shifts, which I don't really.
I know that's
Which I really don't
The
understand.
only reason they got in was because of that illegal shift.
Obviously.
I
He was
didn't
yeah.
catch that. I didn't catch
I was
that.
doing jokes. Paul.
Yeah.
I was doing jokes.
This is a big play in the
gotta
game.
work on
I mean, I don't see 2 guys moving here, but like I don't know. I guess the
someone-
NFL does.
Fullback-ish.
At least we're not talking about as much as
Yeah,
about
I
the
don't know why that's
officiating
an
like we
illegal
talked in
shift.
pregame.
They got the fullback.
Was somebody covered up that wasn't supposed to be covered
No,
up?
they called it an illegal shift, not an illegal formation.
Wow.
That was later
Which
in
we
the game.
thought
They
it
had
was
an
illegal
illegal
formation,
formation
yeah.
later in the game.
Well done. He knows the move.
Yeah, if it's slow.
Like you're disgusted, right? Like you're disgusted.
One thing, you watched the Fox game yesterday. Ever notice on Fox when there's somebody hurt and they go to a break, they play the piano music?
Oh, so it's
Like-
a little
like-
bit
Yeah,
more
it's like
somber.
somber. Yeah, just to be
We're not gonna,
respectful.
yeah.
We should have played them out.
Yeah, you don't want to.
I'm gonna have to know. I'm gonna look for that the next time.
music.
Whenever they go to the break because of an injury, it's
easy.
It's
piano
just
music.
quiet. Yeah. Good call.
But just, I mean, I can't say enough things about the Patriots defense these 2 games. I can't believe
Oh.
I can't believe how well they've played.
It's good team defense. It's just they don't necessarily have like the superstar guy that like you got to deal with, but they're playing really well together. They're playing with that personality that I feel like Mike Vrabel has tried to instill upon them, and they've just got a whole vibe to them now. I mean, it's having watched them for a full year now, the aggressiveness and Spillane kind of sums it all up. I mean, he's just that guy is locked in.
Yeah,
Facts.
I
Like
just
what-
hope, toward the end, I noticed he wasn't wrapping up. So we'll
Well,
see.
hey, I bet you he's going to have a cast next week on his hands.
Yeah.
And still
he's gonna
find a way to play,
And he's
right?
going to play.
He
There's
will
no
still
question
be
in my
there.
mind.
The way this
Without a
defense
doubt.
is playing, I just can't. I mean,
Jared Studham.
I don't think it's a great offense to begin with. With Bo
Right,
Nix, I don't
right.
think it's a great offense.
No, and a lot of the magic that they have is Bo Nix kind of willing them to do it or on the
Yeah.
run and making throws. I mean, he's pretty good with that stuff. I mean, he's definitely up and down, and it's a bit of a roller coaster. But I think he is that kind of personality of that offense.
And watching his fight against the
Yeah, he's
Bills.
an intense
yeah,
dude.
he
He's an
just
intense
he really
dude. I mean,
he came back when he needed to.
Yeah.
So-
I see why
for
Denver
him.
likes him and feels like he's got good things. I feel bad for him. I
for sure.
honestly, like, it's just that you get to second year, you're going to play in the AFC Championship, and then the second play
You can't even
break your ankle.
play in the game.
It's
And
tough.
Fred, I think you talked about this. What was it? Earlier in the season when we talked about wanting to get the best of the opposing team, and I think you said that you wanted the best of the Broncos or the Bills, whether or not it ended up. coming
I
down
just
to
don't.
It. So,
I don't like. People are like, I don't want. I'm afraid.
He's the opposite.
oh, you're the opposite. Oh,
wants
see,
the
never mind.
easiest-
See, I'm
No,
not
I
with you on
don't.
that
He
one.
wants the easiest path possible.
yeah.
That's Paul. That's the opposite.
You've said that many times.
I never. I
giving you
don't say.
credit.
I don't care who we play.
I was giving
I
you
always
credit for
say
that.
that. I don't. You're the one. Oh, you don't want any piece of the Bills.
I don't.
Oh, you don't want them.
Well,
you
I
don't want
wanted
to see
the Bills
them
here.
I don't care.
I never say it like that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
If you ask me who I'd rather play, I'll tell you
Right.
who I'd rather
And
play.
I don't
You
like those
always say,
conversations.
I just whatever. Whatever's
Exactly.
easiest.
I see.
I never.
You've said that
he
many
inserts
times.
that. I've never
You've
said
said
that
it
in my
many
life.
times.
I've never said. You are unbelievable. I've never said that in my life.
I've heard
I
you
want
say
the
it many
easiest.
times.
I've never said that, and all our listeners
you also
will back me up.
routinely
Call
root for
in.
injuries.
Well,
it's,
that's
it's
true.
also a common thing that you do.
Yeah, they got me
You're
there.
thrilled that the other team's
Okay.
quarterback isn't playing.
I would.
Okay, that,
I
I would coach injuries.
I just
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, we have a whole week now of buildup of poor Fred having to go to Denver, his favorite place
Well,
on
of
earth.
course. I mean, isn't it appropriate
glorious?
that
It's not even the Broncos. They're
we
just
end the
still gonna-
season, at least before
I
the Super
think-
Bowl, playing in Denver?
I think because Bo Nix got hurt, they should not be allowed to host the game. The game should be.
Oh,
No,
bring it
I
here.
think
Can we petition the league?
I think the opposite. I think because Bo Nix got hurt, they're going to move the Super Bowl to Denver.
Please, Fred, please.
Even if Denver's not in it,
Well,
they're going to play
Denver
the
ain't
Super.
gonna be in it,
They're
so-
going to play
For the
the
sake of
Super Bowl in
competition.
Denver just because.
We'll be in Santa Clara in 3 weeks or 2 weeks or whatever many weeks that is.
3 weeks, you got it.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
All right, I want to hear how people are feeling.
Yeah,
I know
let's
we've been
get
yapping
it
a lot.
going.
So let's get to Nate
The Nates.
in Midland.
Nate and Midland first.
Midland.
Is that Texas?
Just middle of
Nate,
the land.
where are you? What city? What state are you in? Are you awake? Are you here?
He
Nate,
too long. You
I'm
went back to
disappointed.
the, you went back to the
Goodbye, Nate.
booze.
All right, well, we have another Nate. We rebound quickly. Nate in Connecticut. Reliable.
can hear you.
Hey, can you guys hear me well?
Yes, we
What?
do. I love that you answered it before you even asked.
It's just
Every week,
Um,
yeah.
So, first off, I just want to say that was probably the definition of an emotional roller coaster.
Facts.
One play we get the ball, and then one play we lose it. Getting amped up, and then going back down because we lose the ball. Obviously, it wasn't May's best game, but defense, we had a really strong game. And I just want to give a quick shout out to the Patriots social media team for posting that ESPN graphic on
Yeah,
their
they did.
Instagram.
Nice.
Yeah, of all the analysts choosing Houston over us.
Mm-hmm.
If everyone wants to keep hating on us, give it to us because we're gonna feed off of it. And I just really think our chances of winning the AFC Championship. Obviously, we got to play a little better than we played today. Of course, with the ball security, just all around, we just got to play better. If we do that next week, we'll be going to California. We will, and I truly think that this team has what it takes. Go Pats!
Go Pats. Thanks,
All right.
Nate.
Thanks, Nate.
Oh, reliable. All right, Deshaun in Virginia.
Hello, guys. How you guys doing?
Hey, John.
Doing well.
Nice win, I would say. Nice win.
Nice.
But with that being said, I'm very excited about the Patriots' progress and what they have done so far. But I'm very afraid for this team moving forward because I know a lot of Patriots fans ain't going to agree with me when I say this. But I honestly would want to see this team in the Super Bowl because if they happen to face a team like Seattle, that'll probably be healthier, as well-rounded, so that or whatever, they may get smacked. Now, if they face teams like the Rams or the Bears, I feel very good about that. But if they happen to face Seattle in the Super Bowl, I don't think it's going to be very good for the Patriots. That's all I wanted to say.
Fair point.
I'd say right now Seattle's the most rounded team playing the best at this point in the season.
Yeah.
Of everyone that's left.
I like the
Absolutely.
Rams,
Yeah.
but either one. Chicago, I think, would be a cakewalk. But
Oh,
the other
you're
two,
unbelievable.
I just
can
don't
you
think
say
they're
that?
I don't
love
think they're
this.
that good. Like, why? Like,
You know what you sound like? You sound like fans talking about the Patriots.
that's intentional.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what you sound like.
Yes, it is.
Not, I'm talking about
No.
opponent fans talking about the
No,
Patriots.
I'm
I don't
just-
think the Patriots are that good. They're overrated.
I didn't say that.
No,
No, that's what
when
these
you
things-
say
that's
that's what
people
other
say.
fans
Like
say about
national,
us.
Yeah.
And that's what you sound like when you talk
But I
about
don't
the
think
Bears.
Chicago's overrated. I think they're properly rated.
They're properly rated.
Yeah, they're in the divisional round. They're a good
But
team.
you just said they're not that good.
They're not as good as the Rams or the Seahawks. Like, that doesn't mean they're not good. Like, see, you always criticize me for putting words in your mouth. You extrapolate things that I said. I think the Patriots are better than Chicago. That doesn't mean I think Chicago stinks.
You just said I don't think they're that good.
I don't. I think the Patriots are better.
But that doesn't mean they're not good.
I didn't say they weren't good. Like, to the level
You know
of
how
those
you
teams.
said it.
ranking-
Play it back.
I think
Play
what
it
he's
back.
saying
There's
is
definitely tone when you
Yes.
said it.
No.
Dismissive tone.
Fully agree.
And I wouldn't dismiss them.
I think the Rams and the Seahawks are significantly better than them.
teams than the-
Okay.
That doesn't mean they stink.
So
Like, don't
competition-wise,
extrapolate.
it
Like, I
sounds
think
like
there's
you-
good teams and really good teams, and I think Chicago is.
You're very dismissive. There's tone. There's tone.
Sound like a teacher.
I mean there to be tone. I don't think they're at that level.
Okay.
Like, I can't just pretend I think they're at that level because I don't care if they think I'm disrespecting them. Like, it doesn't really matter what I think. It matters what the team
So
thinks.
you're disrespecting them.
I don't think they're as good as the Rams and the Seahawks. If that's disrespect, then yes, I'm disrespecting
Well,
them.
you can rate the teams.
I think that these other teams are better than they are. I think they've been very fortunate to win a lot of these games with fluky chokes by Green Bay down the stretch twice in the span of like 6 weeks.
I know, but when you keep doing it, it's not a
team.
fluke.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Oh, man.
Kansas City showed it last year. When you do it every week, it's kind of a fluke, and then all of a sudden it's going to burst at some point. That's what I think about Chicago. I think they're good. I really like Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're at the level of those other two teams in the NFC. Now, they're going to give the Rams a game today. It's 7-0. 7-0. They're inside the 3-yard line here. They might be tying the game shortly. I'm not telling you they can't win the game. I don't think they're as good as the teams they're playing.
So what if they beat the Rams?
And it's an upset. I mean, upsets can't happen. Like, that is possible in sports.
Is that snow on the ground over there?
Yeah.
It's very cold.
Wow.
Like, do you think the best team wins every game? The better team wins every game, or sometimes it's a fluke.
No, but when you win as many games as they have, then you got to say, okay, they're good.
I think they are good, just not as good as the other good teams that are in the league right now.
Just
that are in
tied
the
it
playoffs.
up. And they just tied it up.
And there it is.
Yes, and again, I don't say that they have no chance to win this game. They're at home; they can win the game
because they're good.
You guys get caught up in
again. They are good. They're not as good as the other teams that are still left in the playoffs.
I'm
in my opinion,
so it's still entertaining. All right, let's go to speed.
Like, you make it sound like I'm calling them Cleveland.
Well,
like they're not good.
That, yeah.
Cleveland stinks. Like Tennessee, worst team in football, stink. The Raiders. I'm not saying that they're like that.
Those teams you should have tone with.
Well, okay, so those are the teams I'm allowed to have tone with.
I don't like your tone.
I'm talking about playoff teams here. I'm talking about the good teams. The Texans are better than Chicago. The team the Patriots beat today is better than Chicago.
I disagree with that wholeheartedly.
They are a better team than Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's see what Speed thinks.
This is a good win today.
It was a good win.
It's a really good win.
Speed,
What do you got, Speed?
What do you have?
Whoa, what is that?
Where did that come from?
Is that coming out of you?
Yeah, I was going to say.
It's like New
Is that
Year's
you
Eve
too?
over there.
A little bit of leftovers from New Year's. Fred, you've got to SHTAP. Stop it. Like, Jared Stidham is not going to provide adequate resistance. We're going to the Super Bowl, but I don't want to talk about that elephant. I wanted to just ask maybe a more ball knower-ish-esque.
Oh, that's the wrong show for this.
Sorry, but here it comes. Miguel Deuce.
It's you.
I wanted to know, like in the first half, they went away from it in the second half, but there was like a lot of, it seemed like delayed or hesitation handoffs, a lot of time on first down.
Yeah.
And it seemed like most of the time it led to nowhere. I always find it interesting because I'm a stupid fan, so I always think that like Josh knows something and he's trying something and he's feeling things out, but it just seemed so, I don't know, dunderheaded or like it wasn't going anywhere. And was there something more substantive or strategic about what they were feeling out? Maybe with the weather, trying to give them time to dance around. I don't know. It just seemed so just ridiculous. And like, how'd you guys see that? And I'll hop off. I'll see you in the Super Bowl. Let's go.
Yes, Speed. Yeah. We're coming to visit you.
With the delay, maybe like they were just trying to use Houston's aggression against them and kind of like let them make the first move and then counter that. But like Paul said, they had an answer for everything.
Mm-hmm. They did, and you could see what they were trying throughout the offense. Like the short screens, to Paul's point, these delayed handoffs. They tried.
Yeah.
And what I noticed that I thought the Patriots made enough plays. I thought the touchdown pass to Diggs and the touchdown pass to Booty, just examples of great plays that beat great defense. And that's what you have to do to beat a defense that's that good. What I noticed, though, with Houston that I was really impressed with was a lot of those little check downs, little flip outs, a little swing pass. You get a guy out in space one-on-one. They don't miss the tackle.
Right.
They almost never missed that tackle. And I thought that was what really impressed me was how they swarmed to the ball. Is it
Toto?
No. The defensive line. Tiago.
You just want to say it.
Tiago.
Wait, I have that.
Just sniffs out a screen and grabs, I think it was either Henderson or Stevenson by the shirt and takes him down. Togiai. Togiai, Tommy Togiai. Some, kind of anonymous kind of players. It wasn't just all the stars for Houston. I was impressed with. That's why I think this was a really good team the Patriots beat today. And I think that's going to bode well. I don't see them losing. I don't think next week the team is as good as the one you played today. Yeah. And certainly not without their quarterback. And it'll be tougher on the road for sure. Yeah.
But
maybe if you, to Fred's point, if you get sloppy with the ball and you put yourselves in those spots on the road, maybe it kind of avalanches in on you a little bit. No pun intended for Denver.
That was great.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Like at home, the crowd's like, okay, come on, we made a mistake, but we still got this, and you get that little lift, and Patriots defense came through time and time again today.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. All right, let's take
What was the over on this game?
40.5. It went over.
Yeah. I lowballed it. I thought it was going to be a low-scoring game. God, I was wrong, though. All right,
Jeepers.
Colorado.
My picks are a bloodbath.
Chester, how are you?
What'd you go? 2 and 4?
Oh, yeah, what'd you get? We'll look next week. You're cheating.
I think you went 2 and 4,
Chester,
right?
how you feeling?
Feeling good. Great game. Super good to watch. I got a question and a comment, both kind of about conditions. The first one, watching the game today, it looked cold and very wet, heavy snow.
Well, at least it's not 3 degrees like in Chicago right now.
I think the TV cameras were a little deceptive.
They were. It looked more dramatic than it was.
It was around 33 degrees.
Yeah,
it got
was
down
pretty
to
warm.
It wasn't
actually
that cold, and the snow was not sticking. It was wet. Definitely, it was wet.
It was wet, but I don't think it was that cold, and it was not windy. Which to me
it wasn't windy at all.
The big thing.
You want to attribute that to the turnovers. I don't think so. I think it was just sloppy play on both sides.
Okay, yeah, that was sort of the question do you think that contributed at all?
Yeah. I noticed on TV it looked a lot heavier snow than it really was.
It looked really nice on TV, actually.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Anything else, Chester?
And then the comment I had, just living up here, I live in Denver. It's been a lot of fun getting to watch it. I've been talking to Broncos fans this whole season about we're going to have the AFC Championship here probably, it seems like, and now it's actually happening. But earlier in the show, Fred was talking about adjusting to altitude, and he was absolutely spot on. Coming up early and trying to sleep at altitude is a lot harder on your body than just coming up and playing. And these guys are in great shape. They're absolute athletes.
True.
And from what I've heard, the hardest thing about playing in Denver isn't really the altitude. It's much more the crowd and the noise and things like that. So.
Yep.
Thanks for the insight, Chester.
It's that horse sound they play every time they have a third down.
So
incomplete.
Oh, remember though?
And they used to have a little thing at the end of it was whop, 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 whop. But they stopped doing that for some reason.
Why?
But historically, the Patriots have lost there 4 times in the playoffs. They lost there in '86. They lost there in 2005. They lost there in 2013 and 2015. Both those AFC Championship games. So, just a historical element to this game.
Break the trend.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, we're gonna take more calls. We have more things to talk about in this Patriots Postgame show. We'll be right back after the break.
This postgame show is brought to you by Massachusetts 250 campaign, commemorating a history of possibility. Plan your revolutionary weekend at massachusetts250.org. And by Brunt Workwear. They make work boots and apparel that are built for the job site. Their gear is comfortable, durable, and named after the real workers in the trades that help design it. Save $10 on your first order at bruntworkwear.com/Pats or with coupon code PATS.
The future with AI will twist and turn. Cisco is the critical infrastructure for the AI era, clearing your path to wide open possibility. Cisco.
It ain't my dad's razor, Dad.
Hey, watch it.
It's from Gillette Labs. This green bar releases trapped hairs from my face.
Game changer.
While the Flex, this contours to it. So the 5 blades can get virtually every hair in one stroke. For the ultimate Gillette shaving experience.
The best a man can get
is Gillette Labs.
Let there be ideas too big to stay ideas, and the software to make them soar. Let there be anything. Autodesk.
The future with AI will twist and turn. Cisco is the critical infrastructure for the AI era, clearing your path to wide open possibility. Cisco.
It ain't my dad's razor, Dad.
Hey, watch it.
It's from Gillette Labs. This green bar releases trapped hairs from my face.
Game changer.
While the Flex, this contours to it. So the 5 blades can get virtually every hair in one stroke. For the ultimate Gillette shaving experience.
The best a man can get
is Gillette Labs.
Let there be ideas too big to stay ideas, and the software to make them soar. Let there be anything. Autodesk.
We want to hear from you. So call the hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at podcast@patriots.com. Now, back to the Patriots Postgame Show presented by DraftKings.
Welcome back into the show. The phone lines are blowing up, and we'll get to those in just a second. But before we do,
That's
Deuce,
right.
You have the floor.
It's time now for Building the Next Legacy, presented by Autodesk, the official design and make platform for the New England Patriots. Autodesk Construction Cloud is a platform trusted by contractors and owners and our New England Patriots to design and build the next legacy. And guys, I don't think there's any question. The big takeaway from this game is takeaways. And of course, you know, I've been doing a 1985 project. I flash back to that playoff run where the Patriots, through their first 3 playoff games, had 16 takeaways. That includes both 6 takeaways in the divisional round and 6 in the conference championship against Miami. Now, I know it's crazy. I mean, they dried up in the Super Bowl. We don't have to relive that one when they had 6.
They got 1.
I don't know. They had 2. I don't know what that one.
Oh, 2? I know they definitely had 1 on the first play of the game.
But had you not given the ball away 5 times, this game probably wouldn't have been as close. But if you can get another volume of takeaways like that in Denver, I think it bodes really well for the Patriots' championship chances to close things out there in the AFC. So, of course, I had to plug 1985, but takeaways on defense, baby. Keep them rolling.
Well done. Well done. All right, grab some snacks. We're going to take another break, but we'll be right back.
This Patriots postgame show is brought to you by Pepsi. Game day is here, so stock up now. Grab a refreshing Pepsi Zero Sugar 12-pack now because tailgating deserves better. And by Tostitos. Football fans know traditions matter. They are what inspires us to make our masa and Tostitos the traditional way, starting with whole corn kernels. Discover your next tradition this football season. Head to the store, grab your Tostitos team bag, and scan the code for a chance to score an epic experience with the Patriots. Tostitos, tradition matters.
The future with AI will twist and turn. Cisco is the critical infrastructure for the AI era, clearing your path to wide open possibility. Cisco.
It ain't my dad's razor, Dad.
Hey, watch it.
It's from Gillette Labs. This green bar releases trapped hairs from my face.
Game changer.
While the Flex, this contours to it. So the 5 blades can get virtually every hair in one stroke. For the ultimate Gillette shaving experience.
The best a man can get
is Gillette Labs.
Let there be ideas too big to stay ideas, and the software to make them soar. Let there be anything. Autodesk.
We want to hear from you. So call the hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at podcast@patriots.com. Now, back to the Patriots Postgame Show presented by DraftKings.
Welcome back into the show. The Patriots are, as you know already, they're headed to the AFC Championship game. Matt Smith, Paul Perillo, Mike Dussault, and Fred Kirsch. I'm Kwani Lunis. You two are matching, by the way. I noticed that in our last hit. You look so good together.
That's
You're
right. Yeah.
in sync.
Fred and
but
I, we're going to the yacht club after this.
I
you
love
know?
it.
We'll
It
have
looks
we'll have
dapper.
Some fine scotch.
Are you meeting Muffy?
Surrounded by mahogany.
I like this lifestyle for you. All right, Matt. You always come very good.
Okay. No, well, before we get on that, I want to give a little tip of the chapeau to the person who is sitting next to me here, and I don't know if he if he took a little victory lap.
No.
But in the pregame show,
I took no victory laps off in this game.
In the pregame show, and on All Access on Friday night, Paul said, "Here's one to keep an eye on," and he said, Kayshon Boutte. He said last year, May to Kayshon Boutte. He goes, nothing against the Houston defense or a great defense. Well, Paul, what did you say? Don't let me say it. What did you say?
Yeah, I thought that the Texans are susceptible to deep balls over the top. Turned out that they really weren't. They just had one, and that was, a huge play in the game. But I thought Booty, being the deep threat, might be able to make a few plays today.
By the way.
And they were able to make one. But no, I wouldn't say that, much. I mean, I didn't anticipate. I don't know. Was it 9 turnovers in this game?
But Paul, they needed one play, and that was a play.
I didn't anticipate 9 turnovers in the game.
There is.
Yeah.
But they went over the top. There was when they needed to do it, they did it.
I mean, the key to the game was the defense. I mean,
I'm not saying that was a key to the game.
Took the ball away 5 times.
Take your flowers. That was a good shout.
Now splice them together.
Right.
All right.
Why are we watching Joe Milton?
Oh.
Whoa.
That game.
I don't want to ever see that again.
Right. So let's go into the auditorium and listen to Mike Vrabel after the Patriots clinched and punched their ticket to the AFC Championship game.
I'm always excited for our organization, excited for the players. I am appreciative of their work and their efforts. Everybody's stepping up. We're using everybody. Everybody's making plays. Everybody's helping us win. I'm excited for these guys, but they're also they're not satisfied, and I can tell that. And it wasn't pretty. Defense kept us in there, and then when we needed it, our offense was able to come through late in the game there. In the second half with a touchdown, give us a 2-score lead. And then I felt like that drive backed up there from the 3-yard line where we ran the ball and took a lot of clock was pretty classy.
Mike, your defense has allowed 19 points. Well, if you look at it in 2 games, what have they done well in your mind?
They're playing well together. I feel like they're complementing each other, and our turnovers are created by more than one guy. There's some great efforts, but it's somebody tipping a pass or it's somebody that's putting pressure. That's usually helping that dude. Or Zach's, dialing something up that kind of changes the look, and we're taking advantage of, our opportunities, and that's what it's going to take in the playoffs. Is you got to take care of the ball and turn it over.
Coach's job is always to tune out the noise. There's going to be a heck of a lot of noise this week. Are you satisfied that you've got your players to tune out that noise, or is that a work in progress?
Well, I mean, it's going to, we know the stadium's going to be loud, so the louder the better. I mean, every opportunity. I think what they've done is we've asked them to embrace the preparation, embrace the strain, and also enjoy every minute of this. Enjoy walking into this stadium, coming in here, enjoy putting your uniform on, enjoy going out there and warm-ups, enjoy seeing your family, but most especially enjoy, the execution. So we'll keep doing that, and we know we got to go on the road to a number 1 seed in the AFC, and it's not going to be easy, but we'll come out and be ready to go.
Coach, congratulations on the victory here tonight. You talked about a loud stadium potentially in store for next week. How much do you feel that the home crowd played into the victory tonight in the last home game of the season? Well,
they help. They help tremendously. And again, there was, they ratcheted up there in the fourth quarter and some of those third down stops that, back by the lighthouse, I felt like that was really ratcheted up. And, when they chose to punt, I mean, that was huge for us. And then, they got a great punt, and then, we took the ball. But, the harder we play and the more plays that we make, the louder they're going to get. I've said this since we've been here. They're knowledgeable fans. They've seen a lot of good football over the course of 20-some years. So they know what it looks like, and they have high expectations.
There's a lot of talk about the Texans' defense this week. Did you feel like your defense took that personally at all?
But yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're going to tell you that here in 30 seconds when you guys go rushing out of here. As soon as Nicole leads you guys out of here, you guys will go. And now, again, they're really good for a reason. They've shown it each and every week. But our guys are prideful men, and they want to compete and they want to win. And again, they deserve the recognition that they're going to get. I mean, they're top 5 defense for a reason as well. And so, again, that's how some of these things go. It comes down to turnovers, and we've got them in. Get back on track. We force 2nd and longs because we stopped the run. And I'm proud of each and every guy in there.
Do you think there was a sense that they were disrespected this week, that they weren't getting enough attention, the Patriots defense?
I didn't get that sense in the press conference, but I assume that they probably did.
And then he sort of said that, right?
Yeah.
Did you feel that way during the week?
I didn't, but I think that they took it that way.
Okay.
Because a lot of the talk was about the Texans
Sure.
defense.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think that that's what coaches do is they use any perceived slight that they can find.
Yep.
Yeah.
Make it
To their
I mean,
advantage.
there's a reason
personally.
why everybody on that show that we just
Yeah.
had the graphic picked the Texans because of their defense.
Well, not only that, but did you see how fast that graphic was replicated?
Yeah.
Like, that happens every week.
Oh, yeah.
All of a sudden, they had it at the ready because they use that stuff.
Sure.
And good coach, Bill used it all the time.
Your guy, Rodney Harrison.
Absolutely.
You'd go favorite in every game, and he'd come in the locker room.
Right.
Nobody believed in us.
No one believed in us.
Except everybody.
Right. And yes, there was guys, that picked Houston. There were a lot of people that picked the Patriots. We didn't get that graphic.
Yeah, but that's just this show.
Yeah.
Right.
Of course.
No, I'm talking about
the Texans
no,
are
you
going to
meant
show that one.
overall.
yeah,
nationally.
the national guys,
Right.
Houston got a lot of attention this week, and I'm sure that was noticed by the Patriots defense.
And to that question about tuning out the noise, I think in the same vein as a coach, it sounds like we said he uses the appropriate amount of noise to motivate the team, which clearly has been working as well.
It's harmless.
Any good coach would do, right?
And you need it.
Yeah.
Right. So now let's listen to the players, led off by the quarterback, Drake Maye.
We knew it was going to be a battle. We knew this was a great football team coming in here. Happy for the guys, man. This is one to enjoy. It was tough. Battle the elements. Props to our defense. They played great. We made enough plays on offense, but we cleaned some stuff up, and we knew they were going to be a good defense. And like I said, our defense helped us out all nice, and special teams was huge as well. So just proud of the guys can enjoy this one, and we're back on the road.
How would you just describe your emotions on advancing to the AFC Championship game?
Very excited. I've been in the league for 5 years, haven't been in this position, so gonna make the most of it. Put my best foot forward, and hopefully get another win next week, and on to the big game.
Snow picked up a little bit, and it was pretty sweet. Just the fans and the stadium, the atmosphere was pretty cool. And there at the end, we're in the victory formation. That's always the stuff I remember. It's pretty sweet. And then Bo, man. I trained with Bo before the pre-draft and got to know him well, him and his family and his wife. And first off, they're just great people, great Christians. Really enjoyed being around Bo Nix and his family. Obviously, the news is it was heartbreaking for what a player he is, the guy he is, and just know, praying for Bo. I know he's going to bounce back. He's a great player in this league, and look forward to matching up with him. We had one in college, and he got the best of me, so I know he'll bounce back. But they got a good team, and it should be a tough one next week.
Hi, Drake. Congratulations. I'm just curious. Mike Vrabel, when he was just in here, said you guys are excited about the win, but you're not satisfied. Is that kind of how you would also describe the mentality among the team, and what does that mean to not be satisfied?
Yeah, I think not satisfied means we're back on the road. Back on the road in the AFC Championship game. I mean, that kind of speaks for itself. So I'm just trying to, enjoy these playoff wins. I think in the regular season, when you come up with wins, you feel like you can play better. You kind of have this, down mentality, and just know that we made enough plays tonight. Obviously, I wish I had some plays back, but that's part of it. That's part of playing good teams in the playoffs. And proud of these guys for how we played. Keeps on being a defense picking us up when we need to, and special teams was huge. And so, like I said, just back on the road, and we got a tough opponent.
Pure emotion standpoint, how good does it feel to be in the AFC Championship game next week? A place you guys are 8-0 on the road this year, and heading for that big game with an opportunity to go to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, man, it's great to be in the position that we are, but we're one of those people, one of those teams, I would say, that love to flip the page. We're going to be excited, spend time with our family and everything, and spend time with each other. But whenever it comes down to later in the week, we'll definitely dive into Denver because they're a great team.
Coach Vrabel gets a lot of credit for establishing what's here, starting going back to when he was hired. Talk about what he's meant for you personally. What has he done for Drake Maye to make you a better player?
Yeah, I think he challenges me. He challenges me, really every day. Every day in practice, every day, and every time I come back from the sideline from a drive, he's always got something to say, and it's not like it's something that's usually meaningful and that's worth something. So just trying to listen to him, absorb as much as I can. I know he's played in some big games like this, so it's cool when you can see kind of his emotion on his face when he's not even playing and he's coaching, and how much he cares for us, how much he cares for each of us personally. And I think he just pushes me to be the best I can be. And one of the best things about coach is he coaches hard, but he also cares about us a lot. And I think that goes a long way. So Coach Vrabel is he's constant now. He's it's hard when I'm sitting right here, and my man is with the camera on team meetings. He's got a sarcasm that I haven't really figured out 100% yet. He's got a little tough sarcasm where, I want to laugh, but you don't really want to. But no, I think he's a big dude too. I respect somebody that, looking me in the eye, and he's always got something to say, and I think it's always something that is either funny or helps the team and helps us win.
Hunter, how would you describe your emotions to advance to the AFC Championship game?
Oh, man. Gosh, what a blessing to just be in this situation, be in this moment. Gosh, it almost doesn't feel real in a way, but just I'm pumped. I'm excited. I'm really, really excited, man. Just filled with a lot of gratitude and a lot of joy.
We're not finished. We're just going to continue to put our heads down, bring the energy required each and every day to this game planning of the week, and pour our hearts into it like we all have. Every man in that locker room, every coach has just poured their hearts into this season, and we're going to continue to do that and let the chips fall where they may.
Exactly a theme, but I think Mike said it, and I heard Spillane say it, which is why I put him at the end. They're not satisfied. Like, this thing where everybody's going, they're in the AFC Championship game. Oh, they overachieved. No, they're not looking at it that way. As you guys, I'm sure, mentioned, for the majority of the time, there is a golden opportunity that it's sitting here awaiting this team.
Sure is.
You got to
Time
finish.
to do it.
Yeah.
You got to close the sale. You got to close the sale.
I didn't really want to talk much about it in the pregame, with just the Denver thing and having that
It would
opportunity.
be disrespectful, Mike, in all honesty. I'm being serious about that.
I talked about it.
Yeah, I know. And then Paul don't care.
Paul
He's like,
leads the league and wins in games that have never been played yet.
Because I don't play. It does, like, my mindset going into a game doesn't affect how the play. Like, we had a call. Actually, it was Christian in LA who called in and said, "I'm sure Mike Vrabel is explaining like the opportunity." I said, "No, I'm actually sure he's not."
Right.
Yeah. That's not the mindset you
That's
go into a
negligence.
game with playing. You got to worry about the Houston Texans today.
Right. That is negligence.
So, but like we don't matter. Like, we're just talking about the games and talking about the you know what's happening. There was an enormous opportunity today, and if you didn't recognize before the game that you're going to play a team with a backup quarterback next week, how can you not?
And that could
as
be
a
more
fan?
motivating, if anything.
It's like the day I in 1996, Fred, when you went for the first time to the Super Bowl with the Patriots. On the Saturday, the Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Denver Broncos.
Right.
So you knew if you could beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, you're going to be hosting the Jags. You don't think Patriots fans were all thinking about that?
About everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course we were.
Right.
Well done.
Of course we
Well
were. Now,
said.
the players can't do that. I get the players have to be focused. I get that. But we don't matter. We can do whatever we want.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, I got this email with the game notes and the stats and all of that. I love the headline, though. Patriots throw a little tea party as they're back in the AFC Championship game. One, obviously, that's a nod to Boston. But fun fact, you guys may not know this, Cardi B has a diss line to another rapper in her song. And she says, "I heard you're from Boston and we should throw a little tea party." So I'm just tying it all together.
Tonight
'cause
at
she's-
Cardi.
Yeah, she
It
was
all
at the
comes
game.
back to Cardi B.
It all comes back to Cardi. She had a
What about
photo of
Ann
Stephon
Michael?
Diggs.
What about Ann Michael?
And
What do we
Michael
got
May,
on
of course, the first ladies of New England.
This isn't for me, man.
It's like, this is not the conversation I wanted. But
You got to
also,
chat about Zac Efron being
that's true. We were singing.
I didn't even know he was there.
I
know
thought the
who he
tea
is.
party was turnovers, but I guess it
No,
was Cardi B.
I like that.
That's actually
I know.
well done. They actually, yeah, I like that double entendre
And then
there.
Paul had a diss track for the Bears earlier. So, we're
Right.
We
working
all we're
here.
dissing everybody today.
That's very strong.
Yeah, so Paul doesn't think the Bears are good. You
Oh
are
my God,
amazed that
please
the
don't
Patriots are going to go
start.
in as favorites
Oh
next
my
week.
I
goodness.
don't think they're that
It's
good.
unbelievable. I'm surrounded by doubters.
Oh my
It's-
goodness.
It's not that the Patriots. It's that anybody is favored going into Denver for an AFC Championship game.
What do you
It's
mean
surprising
anyone?
to me.
Like-
We're not anyone. We're
No,
a
no,
good
no. Just
team.
like that just doesn't happen where a team is favored to go into Denver in the AFC Championship game. It hasn't happened that I've seen it before, and I understand it now. There's a backup quarterback and everything like that. It's still to
So
me,
you're
it's
still
one of those
surprised.
things where it makes sense logically, but when I first saw it, it was like, whoa.
Well, that's how they kind of
That's-
make these spreads using logic a little bit.
I would hope, yeah.
No, I'm not shocked at all. That
Just
at
the first
4.5.
time I saw it, it just seemed it like that just doesn't happen.
Kwani asked me, what do I think the spread would be, or somebody, and I said, without even knowing that, I said 5.
Wow.
And it was
it was 4.5. Was a
4.5
very
right
good
now.
pick.
So,
done.
so let me ask you this one, oh wise one.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Oh, wise one is crazy.
Buckley was asking somebody, Steve Buckley, should stick to baseball, but But
It's okay for him to be disrespectful of everybody, though.
Disrespectful post game.
He talked about the noise. I think Mike's got a little bit of a tiger by the tail this week in that he's going to get a lot of noise from all the national people that are going to come here this week and say, when do you guys going to leave for San Francisco? Where are you staying? Like this, because it's a fait accompli. Mike's got a little bit of a challenge ahead of him this week to try to sit there and say, no, we're not going to disrespect them. We're not going to disrespect the backup quarterback, in spite of the fact that everybody's going to tell him you got clear sailing to the Super Bowl.
I think
that's a motivational issue that I think he's going to have to deal with.
I think he's going to do what you say, but in a way that's going to be going back at the reporter. Whoever asks, whoever has a hint of disrespect, he should be aggressive towards them,
and he will be. How dare you?
Yeah, are you kidding me?
Right. Why would I?
Yeah,
we would never do that.
Right.
I respect the game, and I respect everybody that's in the game.
No, when he answered the question, he didn't focus on the media noise. He actually shifted his answer and said, yeah, we're going to be prepared for a very loud stadium. So he already, I think, is in that mindset. But by the way, I just found out that the line has already shifted to -5 for the Patriots. So
and it will continue.
See,
and it will
people listen to this show. I just moved the line a half a point. I just moved.
Oh, sorry, 5.5. 5.5.
Good job.
5.5. 5.5. As we speak. I'm kidding.
The 2015 AFC Championship game in Denver, the Patriots were favored.
Yep.
Yeah.
-3.
Anywhere between 3 and 5.5,
Now
depending
that
on the
one,
book.
I'm a little
The
surprised.
Steven Jackson Memorial.
No.
Yeah, that was Steven Jackson, the corpse of Steven Jackson in the Miami game. Yeah, ran the ball into the line
But that
9
wasn't
times.
a big part. That was in the Miami. He didn't run the ball in that AFC Championship.
No, I'm just saying they blew being
four
home for that
carries.
game because they
That
ran
was the corpse of Peyton Manning game. That's why the Patriots were favored.
Yeah.
Manning had lost the job down the stretch, and then Osweiler was so bad they had to give it back to him. And
Denver's D was the story of that game.
Missed extra point, and they chased the extra point the whole game.
Yeah. He should have thrown it to Gronk. He threw it to Edelman.
That is true.
Idiot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Paul Perillo, I believe,
that is true.
I believe that's one of Rob Gronkowski's greatest catches in his Hall of Fame career.
The fourth and 10 down the seam.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of history there.
Yeah.
A lot.
Not a lot of good history.
A lot of
there.
history.
Not right.
Right.
Hey,
Not a lot.
but
So
Harper's Muff happened there.
So Mr. 85, have they played in the 60s at all in Denver? Because just off the top of my head, they're 0-3 in the playoffs in Denver. What's the fourth
in
one?
the playoffs?
86.
Oh, 86. That's
86, 05, 13, and
What's the
15.
defensive lineman that sacked Eason in the end zone?
Oh,
I don't know, but as my history
John
teacher,
Elway, it is his finest.
as my history teacher said
0-4.
on the Monday after, you have no idea how much that safety cost me.
Only in Everett.
It was a
Only in Everett.
Does anyone need any tutoring after school?
Don't hold me to this, but I believe it was a 3.5 point spread, and the Patriots were down a field goal, and he took the safety and made it 5.
Oh my goodness.
22-17 loss.
I can just see him telling the kid, "Hey Tommy, there's going to be a guy named Cheech out there. Just hand him this envelope
Give him
and
this.
come back."
Give him this envelope.
A little something in it for you.
I actually had another teacher that used to send me to the Square Drug to buy the racing form for him.
Oh my goodness. What kind of school did you go to?
That was Everett. That was
okay.
more of during a study period. It wasn't an actual class.
That's what they were
that's
studying.
fine. Yeah.
Come over here for a second.
I got an errand for you to run. All right, we're gonna head back to the phone lines.
Carl Mecklenburger.
Keep it clean.
Carl Mecklenburger sacked Eason.
That's a good one.
No just Berg.
Mecklenburg.
Rob,
Those are Freddie's guys.
in
77.
Norway.
Rob in Norway. What's
How
up
are
in
you?
Norway, Rob?
How's Norway right now? Loaded question. Rob, are you with us?
Our Nordic friend?
Rob in Norway.
Really excited
okay.
when someone's in Norway and they don't answer.
Rob,
Sorry, Rob. All right.
go away.
Well, Marty is in the Pacific Northwest.
Fred's all jacked
Very
up.
general.
Where in the
Hey,
Pacific
Paulie.
Northwest are
Parts
you,
unknown.
Marty?
Paulie, Freddie, how's it going, guys?
Hi.
Okay.
Hey.
What's up, Marty?
Marty.
Marty.
Dr. Kyle Marty.
Marty.
Marty!
I'm not smoking Marty.
Hey, what I got to talk about here is our defense.
Yeah.
You guys think about it now. Since Spillane is back, Milton Williams is back. If you look at the scoreboard, we held the Texans to 48 yards. You get rid of the running game, dude, all they're doing is passing, and our guys were keen on that.
running.
That's why we had our 5 interceptions.
Yeah.
Woodson, my gosh, dude, for a rookie that when they picked him, I was like, and I'm not the only one that was, when they picked Woodson, I was like, Woodson? Who's Woodson? Hey, we know who Greg Woodson is now, dude.
It's true.
I'm buying that shirt. I'm buying that jersey. That's mine now, man.
Yeah, he has smashed through the rookie wall. He's gotten better as the season
No,
goes
but
on.
Marty makes a really good point that I think some people are overlooking: the health of the defense and getting those guys back, and they are rounding into form and playing as well as you could play at the best, at the most important time of the year.
I don't remember them playing like this when they were healthy. I think they've stepped it up to a whole new
That's a fair
level the
point.
last 2 weeks.
That's a very fair point.
Yeah,
Paulie,
that's why I was trying to get Spillane to sort of talk about that a little bit, but you know,
he's very good at his answers.
He's very focused.
There's no running game anymore. Whoever we play, there's no running game. We're back to, you remember halfway through the season, our defense didn't give up 50 yards.
Yep.
You remember
there was
that?
a stretch there.
Yeah,
Yep.
but 50 yards is a lot different than like 14 carries for 17 yards. They didn't do this earlier in the season. This has been a whole new level of dominance.
Right.
Exactly, and you get and now everybody's healthy, like you said, and now in the AFC Championship game, Matt Collins is going to be healthy.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. We've got to
He comes back.
next
The
week.
spread should be 8.
That's true.
It's going up as we speak.
Thanks for the reminder, Marty.
It's going up as we speak.
They're going to call me.
Paul, what are they going to do with Chisholm?
Exactly.
Sorry, Fred. Sorry, Fred. You'll have to come up with a new guy for your good list.
They have to get up to Denver early. They have to get to Denver early and get used to that.
Oh, no, it doesn't work.
Otherwise, Marty.
It doesn't work.
I used to vacation. Well, my summers, my parents were separated. I spent my summers in Colorado, coming from Boston.
Dude's emptying a vein.
Boston, Colorado. I'm telling you, man.
How about empathetic Paul?
I made him laugh.
Sorry, Marty. We're not laughing at you.
He's got a whole other thing going on.
Marty, thank you for the call.
Thanks, Marty.
Thanks, Marty.
Thanks,
A
Marty.
lot, guys. Hey, go Pats.
Yeah,
Go
Pats.
Go Pats.
Go Pats.
Martin is in Kansas.
Another
Fred, did you
Marty.
want to read? Yeah, we have a lot of Marty.
Martin.
Do you go by Martin in Kansas? I guess he's not with us
Martin.
anymore. He's yelling for me. All right, bye.
Louder.
All right,
He's not
back
in
to
Kansas
Colorado.
anymore.
Dave, he's not
He's
anywhere.
not on the phone, whatever.
Dave, you're with us. How are you? Oh,
Great,
right.
guys.
Dave, you got
almost hung up on you, Dave.
You got me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Hell yeah, go Pats.
You going to the game?
Oh, I already bought tickets.
Nice. Congratulations.
There you go.
You part of the Pats Peak Club, Dave?
All around me as you guys are on speaker.
Oh, nice. Hi, everyone.
We were very excited. We watch your show all the time, and we wanted to call in and just be excited. And hell yeah, go Pats. The only question I have is, when did our defense turn into the 85 Bears?
We were just talking about that, Dave. Yeah, I mean, Paul was saying even before when they were healthy, they didn't play like this.
Yeah, no, they've had a good year for the
yeah.
most part. They've played reasonably well all year, I would say. But these last 2 games, I think, have been the best 2 games they've played by a lot.
They weren't a team that got a lot of turnovers early.
I want to go back to a little bit
to
March. Was there a healthy amount of skepticism when they signed Williams? Like, wow, that's a lot of money for a guy.
Well, the whole thing about him was he was never a player that had a lot.
Didn't have a lot of snaps.
But that was a crown jewel of the free agent class.
Has
he was
he
the
been
highest ranked free agent.
Has he been worth
last
it?
year?
Yeah. Oh, God, he's been worth it, and
He's
then
every
some.
penny.
He's been worth it. That's
Yeah.
why
He's
I
really
always,
been
that's
good.
why I always, and Fred, you can vouch for me for this. I always poo-poo the people that talk about the contract. If the player's good, you will not care.
Right.
Is he overpaid? Probably.
Yeah.
But
Who
it doesn't
cares?
matter. He's the best player on the defense.
He's the best player on the defense.
Right.
Yep.
Well, just to, I mean,
It's not your money.
You guys are great. We're going to drop off.
Okay, Dave.
Enjoy the game, Dave.
All right.
I always like when they hang up on us.
We've had enough
Like,
of you.
dang.
Yeah.
They do that to Fred a lot.
So much.
Just to hammer some
Did you want to say something?
specifics.
Hammer.
I like it.
You're
You're gonna get
building
some
a
specifics.
The
legacy here.
Patriots defense, it was the first drive of the game was always a touchdown.
You're right.
They couldn't stop anybody
Good point,
in the
Mike.
red zone. Gotten a couple of those here in the
Right.
playoffs. And, just use Craig Woodson as an example. Played pretty much every snap. Didn't have an interception, a fumble recovery the whole year. Didn't have a single takeaway to his credit. And then he, got 2 tonight. So it's just, I think those are some specific examples that show these things that we came to believe about the defense we got in the playoffs. Those things have not been problems through 2 games.
When you think of the number of moves that were made in the offseason, we always say, teams that sign a lot of free agents, you're lucky if half of them pan out. It seems like everybody
Almost
has
every
panned
single
out.
one of
I
Everybody.
can't really think of one that didn't pan out.
Yeah.
I think they had a phenomenal spring.
Wes Schweitzer.
Yeah, that wasn't really one of them. But they had, they've gotten significant contributions from at least a half dozen guys that they signed. Chason was a monster today. He's one of the guys they signed. Spillane, obviously. Carlton Davis, 2 picks. I know he was a little up and down, but two huge plays in the game. We talked about Milton Williams. They've had significant
Landry,
contributions.
He got that knee injury, and he hasn't really been the same since.
But it's not like he's played poorly.
No.
He definitely tailed off since that knee injury. But you'd be hard pressed to find any of those signings that you say, "Wow, that was bad money spent."
Yeah. Right? Or a guy like Marcus Jones, he was good before they got here, but I think this has been the best year of his career.
And it's not just the guys that they signed; they let a lot of veterans go.
Yeah.
And that didn't hurt them. Like Duggar. What are they going to do with safety?
Yeah. And
They
people get
let
attached,
2
too.
safeties go.
Right.
And veterans. Bentley.
Right.
They didn't re-sign Bentley.
There's a couple guys, I mentioned this to Paul last week, about Anthony Jennings. Like, his name doesn't pop up all the time, but he's a pretty good situational role player. Give him 15, 20 snaps, and I don't know what his snap count is. That's for Reese. But he just seems to be around the ball a lot.
I would agree.
And he sets a great edge.
He's a good player.
The other guy that I was going to say, and he's had a tough year from a personal standpoint, is Tavai. There was a lot of talk. Mike, you were probably sitting there, with all the know-it-alls in the summertime going, is Tavai going to make the team when they're getting rid of all these other veterans that were part of the old regime? Tavai's done a really good job on this team in situations, just doing what they ask him to do and doing his job. Both those guys have been pretty good contributors.
Every team has them, but I remember a guy named Jarvis Green that the Patriots had. He was a spot player, but when he was in there, he always seemed to make a play.
Yeah.
I love your point on Anthony Jennings. I think he really embodies, a guy who didn't really have a spot really early in the, we're looking at camp where like, he doesn't really fit the mold. And you pointed out the Landry injury. Now Jennings has to come in there a little bit. I always felt like this guy is a beast on the edge. He can stop the run. Maybe he's not an elite pass rusher, but there's a spot for him on a team.
And this coaching staff has found it for him.
And now he's starting to even deliver with some pass rush pressure as well. And, I think to me, it's just a sign of kind of the rising tide lifts all ships kind of thing where, the team starts rolling and guys start all playing better. It's almost in the opposite true the last couple of years where this team gets worse and every week you see guys just kind of, it snowballs on you either direction. And right now it's going in the positive direction where you're getting contributions from, a guy like Jalen Hawkins too, I'd point out, who mostly a special teamer, but he's out there making plays on the ball and playing every snap. So, they pushed all the right buttons and it kind of continued to reinforce itself as they've had more and more success.
I know it's coach speak and you hear coaches say all the time, well, you just want to improve as the year goes on. But I think you look at that specifically as we're looking at this defense right now, they have improved. You mentioned, it was a given every game there was going to be an opening drive, score, or field goal or something like that. That hasn't happened. They are playing their best football right now at the most important time of the year. Yep. That's a real credit to the players, obviously, and to the coaching staff.
Yeah. All right, we're going to head to New York. Jared, what's going on?
Jared. Come on, Jared.
Hello?
There it is. Hey.
Oh, wow. Okay, I guess
Hi.
2 things for you. So, long-time listener, first-time caller. Can't believe I got through.
Hey.
But first thing I want to say is, can we give some credit to Zach Cord?
Yeah, that's what Paul does
Sure.
every week.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't do one, but we should.
Spend a half hour handling the undercarriage.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like, Perillo Williams goes out, obviously prayers to his family and his situation. But I feel like nobody's talking about how much he stepped up as a coordinator, being able to lead this defense with his play calls.
Well, you didn't listen to the show last week then.
Or this week.
Yeah.
We
Paul's
literally
been
spent
giving
the
the
whole
flowers.
open about how dominant the defense is, and now you let off with Zach Core.
Yeah, and then I forget who
Said
was
his
the
name.
guest last week. We asked him about Zach Core. And yeah, I mean, Zach Core absolutely it stepped up, and I think he's going to be a desired candidate this offseason. I hope we retain him.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't let him go.
I hope he stays.
That's the funny thing.
Yeah.
Do you think going forward, even when he returns as coordinator, Terrell, that is, do you think Zach's going to at least have some insight to the defense and maybe, some ear to it?
I would hope so.
yeah.
And I'm not sure. I'm not sure what Terrell Williams' status will be.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
I think you're right, though, Fred. This is going to mean opportunities for Zach Core going down the line, if not next year, but certainly.
I mentioned that during the week a couple of weeks ago. Just there's a guy who is probably going to go back to being a regular position coach to someone come after him.
Yep.
We'll see. Now, he might stay. He might just say, no, they gave me an opportunity and I'm going to wait it out here.
Yeah.
Who
Or
knows?
there's co-coordinators. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Could
It is
be.
possible.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jared.
Yeah, I just have one more thing if I can get it real quick.
Yeah, Norris.
Yeah.
So I'm in upstate New York, so I'm in Bills territory. And the one thing I keep seeing this week is that, everybody wants to blame the refs for the Bills game. But I feel like in terms of accountability towards the quarterback, like obviously Drake needs to, protect the ball more. How much do you think that's playing into it when you compare it to 4 turnovers for Josh Allen versus the fumble, which when it comes to protecting the quarterback, I feel like, the first 2 to 3 seconds, it's on the offensive line, where if it extends past that, I feel like then you have to take some accountability towards May when it comes to, okay, you have to sense the pressure.
Yeah, I agree.
How do you think we adjust?
Well, he has to adjust.
No, I think you need to sit him down and watch this film and talk about it because I agree with you. That's a good way of putting it. The first few seconds are on the line, but after that, the quarterback has to be aware of what's going on.
And it was talked about a lot during the course of the week. Like, you're not going to have all day back there.
Right.
Yeah.
It felt to me like the fumbles were coverage initially, and then he's got to get out of there, and he can't. And it just, to me, represented why this Houston defense is so good, because they're so synced up. It's the first read isn't going to be there. He's going to hold it for an extra second, and by that point, Will Anderson's going to get around or through or whatever. He's getting to the quarterback.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jared.
No problem. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah, of course.
Jay.
All right, Adam is in Pasadena.
That's a little warmer there.
Yeah, way warmer.
Yeah, just a tad. I was out taking a walk, T-shirt just a second
Must
ago.
be nice.
By the way, longtime Pats fan since '85. Really appreciate the moment. But first of all, I was hoping someone, just going back to Fred's situation this week with the slobber knocker game, that someone would have AI'd Fred's slobber knockwurst stand at this point. But unfortunately, I haven't seen that manifest at this point. Point 2, and I don't know if this is really going to correlate, but it feels a little like the past. This is going in the Wayback Machine again to 96, 97, leading up to the Jacksonville game. And I'm wondering, could it potentially be something like that where there's an Otis Smith pick 6 at the end of the game to seal the deal and pave the way to the Super Bowl? I defer to Fred here, the Knockwurst King, first. Go ahead, Fred.
It was a fumble recovery, first of all, by Otis, wasn't it? Ball's on the ground.
So
He
what?
picked that stupid
I don't
score.
understand the Knockwurst game. What is he talking?
Slobber knocker.
Slobber knocker.
Slobber knocker. Remember the term?
I know the term slobber knocker, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you had coined this the slobber knocker game.
Which game?
I think that was Todd, North Carolina, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think I did. I think we made fun of somebody for doing it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'd be very worried if they need something like that next week to close that game out. Like if they need a turnover at the end of the game,
yeah,
I just don't see it.
Yeah, unless May doesn't play well.
The way this defense is playing, I can't imagine they're going to get lit up by a backup quarterback who hasn't played in 2 years.
Yeah,
Brady
this
lost
is
to Jake
not, this is a
Plummer
city
out
party,
there.
not necessarily Brunel. So that's a
Like,
good
you
point.
see what I mean? Like every single guy sucks. Every guy.
But what about
Jake Plummer is Tom Brady compared to Jarrett Stidham?
What about fans on the outside who say the way the Patriots offense is playing, I can't see Denver not shutting them down?
They might, but it won't matter.
But then it becomes a slobber knocker.
But they kind of got shut down today, and they won going away.
Didn't Buffalo put 30 points on the vaunted Denver defense yesterday?
Yes, I don't think Denver's defense is all that good.
I don't think they're as good as the defense they played.
Not even close.
Is as good as the defense the Patriots played today?
Not even close.
No,
not
they're
even
not.
close.
And from what I saw from the Chargers last week, I don't think they're as good as the Chargers defense.
I think early on this season, Denver might have had the best defense.
They were
but
hot for a while.
Houston's now they're gone, but they became the best defense.
Fred, I couldn't agree with you more.
I will say this: I think the noise is going to be a big problem for them, and I think
agree with that.
Drake Maye's 8-0 on the road and everything like that. That's great. They've shown an ability to play on the road, but this is a different animal on the road. And I think the noise, and I give Sean Payton, a lot of credit during the week this week, where he used one of his media availabilities to tell the fans, "Don't be loud when we get to the line of scrimmage."
Right.
Do it when they're in the huddle.
That's how, yeah.
And if you
Right.
watched the game yesterday, you saw Josh Allen pleading. You know,
Right.
I can't hear you.
yeah.
I can't hear you.
That's
That's
why-
going to be something that Drake May and
Has
the
to work
offense
on.
is going to have to.
That's
be on
why
the
I
same
always thought
page.
the Kansas City fans were the smartest fans when it came to that. Their noise was consistent, before the play.
Right.
Like, so you said, so the communication's hard.
Correct.
Once you get to the line, you're doing hand signals and all that stuff, but you can't talk in the huddle.
Right.
That's a big thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I will say one thing that I would say Peyton, I was very impressed with, was how he handled that announcement yesterday.
Yeah.
And the way he delivered that message. That was a guy who is not thrown off by what is going on. And I think his message to the team was, we got this. Don't worry about it.
Exactly.
Now,
Right.
I'd be stunned if it works out that way, as I've said. But I think that he has the perfect mindset for going in.
We'll see how.
And I'll say this. Matt mentioned the Buckley comment about like the noise that the Patriots are going to have to. Well, the opposite is true too. Now the Broncos are the #1 seed playing at home, playing
As
with house
an
money.
underdog.
Playing with house money.
Nobody's given us
They
a
are
chance.
supposed to lose.
They're going to get
and
thumped.
Peyton's going to use that.
Absolutely.
So
I was listening to Weekend Sports
everybody
Radio.
has a chance. These games get played on the field, and some, they'll have a chance. I'm not telling you Denver doesn't have any chance. So
Yeah.
please don't misunderstand. I think the Patriots are going to win this game comfortably,
Well,
but that doesn't mean that upsets don't happen.
I was listening to sports radio yesterday, and it was after the game, and it was a woman. I don't know who. It was a national show. He said, Jared Stidham was once the heir apparent to Tom Brady. I was like, what? Are you kidding me?
he once backed up Brian Hoyer.
Yeah,
that's the guy.
Legacy. All right, Sean is in Florida, also warm climate. Sean.
Well, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey. Thanks for taking my call.
What's up?
Okay. Is that it?
You just want to say hi?
You're gonna hang up and listen?
No. Yeah, for me, the defense is awesome tonight and all that. And I like just to point out that Booty's the guy. That catch was amazing by him in that one hand. I'd be through the roof real watching the game down in Florida. We're actually on our way to Denver for a snow trip. So we're going to check out the weather and, and just take notes.
Great.
Good luck. Enjoy.
All right. Thanks, Sean.
Have fun.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were done.
He's on his way to Denver.
Yeah.
Snow trip.
Have a safe trip.
Extend that trip.
Snow trip.
Yeah.
Extend
we got
it.
a snow trip home.
Yeah.
Everybody,
What's it look like out there?
Careful home tonight. Any updates?
You guys wanna clean
Any
my
reporter?
car?
Any reporters?
Any updates?
Get a report from the parking lot.
Right.
Lance is in Redland. Just Redland.
Yeah, hi, everybody.
Hi.
Game today, with the outcome at least. So listen, I just wanted to comment really quick on that somber Fox music that they use when someone gets injured. I think they've had that since they got the TV broadcasting rights.
Makes sense.
I think they contacted Bruce Hornsby about it. But yeah, Fox has done that forever, it seems.
Yeah, I know they have. I just think it's funny.
Yeah.
I really am
You
gonna.
never noticed it?
No,
Really?
Well, you know me. But
Hopefully.
sounds like they're going to a commercial.
You're out.
Right.
Yeah, you're out. Yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Lance.
That's when you know it. So there you go.
Appreciate you.
All right, well, hey, let's go next week.
All right, let's
gonna
go.
be good.
Everybody, bye.
Bye.
See you then.
So they were writing Will, and there was a C. I thought it was Will Campbell calling in, but it's just Will in Chicago.
I just wanted to say I didn't have my best
You're gonna
game.
yell at Paul for disrespecting the Bears.
All right.
Was he better this week?
Will, what do you think?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. That didn't take long.
Will, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Hey.
Yeah.
Okay.
You good?
The offensive line was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Do you think we come back from that? Like, can we keep getting over that? Over the
So who does Denver have on their edges?
The kid from BC,
Nick Benito.
Nick Benito,
Yeah,
and
they got,
Zach Allen.
Zach Allen up the gut.
Yeah, I
Really
believe they
good.
led the league in sacks.
They did.
So the pressure's going to be an issue again. Yeah, it is.
Okay.
No question.
Are we rooting?
But
for
they
the
have no
Bears
chance.
So we can get
But they'll
revenge
give
for,
up 30 points anyway.
Okay.
What did,
like they did yesterday
what did Cook
to a
run-
team that turned the ball over 5 times.
What did Cook run for yesterday?
I don't know. Probably a lot.
Okay.
Thanks, Will.
Because look, they had a little.
This
They were
defense
able
is
to
not
move.
anywhere near the caliber of the one you just faced. And I know the numbers would tell you differently. It's just not as good.
Yeah, Zach Allen was first team All-Pro.
Yeah, right.
Benito's got 14 sacks. Jonathan Cooper's got 8. John Franklin Myers, formerly of the Jets,
Yeah, it's a
7.5.
good player.
James
Zach Allen
Cook
got
at 24
7.
for 117 yesterday.
Yeah. I think you can run on them a little bit.
I think you can do whatever you want on him.
Oh,
How's that sound?
stop.
Oh my God.
You just got to protect the ball.
Oh.
You just got to protect the football.
You know what's going to... Oh. Are you playing Felger that if the Patriots lose this game, you're going to call the whole season a failure?
I would have said the same thing if Houston had won this game today. I just don't see them having a chance to win this game with Jarrett Stidham playing. I don't.
Yeah. Before we go, do we want to talk about the return of the Mac? He's eligible to practice. I just wanted to really say
Mac
that.
Hollins. Yeah, no,
But Mac Hollins will be back this week.
It's significant. I think it's significant.
I agree with you, Mike.
We've commented consistently that he's a force in the run game. He's a big target for Drake that he likes to throw to, and I think we've missed his presence. You haven't gotten enough out of the other ancillary weapons, so I think it will be a huge bonus for the Patriots to get Mac Hollins this week and go full strength into this last game.
Right on time.
Yeah.
Final thoughts, final words. We have look, Sean got in right before we closed. Sean in Vancouver. Sean, you have the final thoughts.
Final thought?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
No pressure.
Final thought for the final time.
Yep.
I just want to reiterate what you guys are saying about the defense and how it's so much better now than it has been all season. And I think part of that was the injuries. You know, you got Durden got some time to play, and you got Tavai back. You have Milton Williams healthy, and you have Tonga healthy, and Robert Spillane, and so it's just everyone's like peaking at the right moment, and the coaching's come together. The only question I have is, was Zach Kerr just having these amazing game plans? Do you think Vrabel's helping him with that at all, or is he just learned a lot more as the season's gone on and has become like a top defensive coordinator?
I would imagine during the week, Vrabel's got a hand in the defense. Absolutely.
Yeah, and there was times in the middle of the second half today where I saw Vrabel talking to Josh, and had sort of like what I think was a play sheet of some sort in his hand, and they were going over. Yeah, I mean, Vrabel's got his hands in everything. He's a true head coach. He's not just standing there.
Yeah.
Letting everybody do everything. He's hands-on.
Yeah.
I mean, he even heals the players. Yeah. He lays hands.
He lays hands on injuries.
Right.
Yeah.
You will not be hurt.
Right. Right.
It worked on everybody with Davis today. Ran out on Davis. He's used it like 6 different times on Davis.
He'll be back. Our neurologist is better than everybody else's.
All right, the lines are ringing, but it's time to wrap this up.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry to whoever's calling. The Patriots, as you know, advancing to their 16th AFC Championship game.
16.
Coverage here starts at 1:45 on Sunday. Make sure you tune in for Matt Smith, Paul Perillo, Mike Dussault, and Fred Kirsch. I'm Kwani Lunis. We'll see you next week.
Hey, this is Alex. Thanks for tuning into the show. If you really want to help us, make sure you like us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, make sure you follow us on the New England Patriots YouTube channel to see this show and everything else we do here at the Patriots. Thanks a lot.